I think it's time. What do you need? Do you get yourself situated?
He's got to get ready. This whole life has been building to this moment.
For a moment like this,
Andy can wait a lifetime for a Highlander movie.
So it only took 100 episodes. That's not so bad. It's only been 4 years of podcasting.
You were patient. You were patient.
4 years. What did I bring it up like 5 movies in?
Yeah, that's true. I think you did.
That's a long time.
It's so
to
long.
wait.
It's a long time.
It's like too long. Like we should have stopped a while ago.
That's true. That's true.
50 was a bit of a good stopping point.
But we didn't know.
I heard that
we started at the bottom.
900,000 people have podcasts.
Yeah.
I believe it.
It's a very saturated market. And the people that are famous that have podcasts are just sucking up more of any chance than anyone who doesn't have like.
You're like, why would you listen to anything other than the big one that everyone listens
like
to?
Wanda Sykes started like saying she wanted a podcast. I'm like, no, you're too famous. Let other people have podcasts.
Wanda Sykes is hilarious.
Yeah, she's really funny. I probably listen
She's
to
like
it.
one of the funniest people
Yeah,
ever.
she just, you turn around and it's just like hilarity.
She was on NPR talking about, this is a tangent, but she was on NPR talking about how she married a white woman and has and her wife has kids who are white, and so she's like the minority in the family.
Oh man,
she's hilarious.
The road is here. We're at the dead end street.
We traveled all the way.
Of Highlander.
Here we are. We're the champions of the universe.
So who's?
Hold on. What? Huh?
Who's Andy? I was going to ask who likes this movie.
Oh, Andy Moldenhauer.
Oh, do you like this one?
I do. I like this movie.
You've seen
What,
it
you guys
before?
don't like this movie?
Did we intro or did I black out?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
No.
Hubert just jumped right into it.
So
trying to
yeah, he was
understand.
like, so
Guys, I'm so hyped for this episode. It's got to be special. Get rid of that intro. No
Okay,
time.
I guess no intro
It's like
in this
those TV.
episode.
It's like
What?
those TV episodes where they
Yeah,
cut
screw it.
they cut the theme
Too late.
because they don't
we
have time.
we have 2 reasons to do
Oh, okay, we
an
gotta do the intro.
intro
We gotta do the
because
intro.
number 1, this is our 100th episode.
Oh yeah,
Is that true? Mm-hmm. How?
we're too old.
Is that true? Too old for this shit. And number 2, we're talking about the movie, The Legend Highlander.
Okay. Well, let me line up.
Okay, get right,
Give me a
get
good
loose, get limber.
Sit in your seat.
My name is Bradley Jones.
My name is Andrew Moldenhauer.
My name is Andy Hubert.
Welcome to the What We Remember podcast, the podcast where we try to remember what happened in a movie that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. And this is what we remember about
Highlander.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
Are you sure you guys want to do this movie?
I do Highlander 2 easier.
Hey, wait.
I'm a Highlander 2
don't do
fan.
that. No, it's
I'm a
slow.
Highlander 2 apologist, guys.
How? It's so
We
bad.
got Michael Ironsides in there.
no.
We got flying skateboards.
Oh, damn it.
We got Sean Connery. We got aliens.
Is Sean Connery not in this one?
Sean Connery
got-
is in this first
got-
one.
Okay,
as
okay.
well.
I was about to have a heart
Don't
attack. I was
Don't
like,
worry,
what
Andy.
We
movie
get
did I
Virginia
watch?
Madsen in the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Quickening.
I don't think
there's
I've-
a lot of quickenings in that one.
Have I seen the second one? I don't know.
It's
Nobody
okay. You don't
has.
need to. I have.
No,
I have.
I think you should see the second one. It's.
I need to watch it again.
It's one of the most like flawed productions ever. They shot it in
Ooh.
Brazil.
Oh,
there was
boy.
like complications all over the set. I'm pretty sure people died trying to make the film.
Oh my god.
Money was running out.
Yikes.
Sean Connery got paid like $6 million to be on set for like 3 days
That's a good deal.
because they just had to have him in the movie. It's out. I think there is a documentary like on the making of Highlander 2. Michael Ironsides is in it.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
plays the Kurgan
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
But enough of that. Let's talk about the first time.
Let's talk about the original.
So, when was the last time you guys saw The Highlander?
Yeah, like 10, 15 years
Probably
ago.
about 10 years ago. Probably.
Oh my
and I
God,
probably
really?
saw it on TV. It was probably, I'm sure it was on TV.
Okay. Was that your
Yeah.
first time seeing it on TV?
No, I think I'd seen it before on TV again. I don't think I
You
ever
never watched it all the way
rented
through
this
without
or
commercials.
I think the only time I would have seen this is on TV.
Yeah. This movie was kind of in that boom of like fantasy adventure films of Conan
Yeah.
and like Beastmaster.
Sure.
And like Highlander came out, and I was like, it's probably just another one of those.
This
films.
one did much better, though, than those movies.
Yeah. Well, it was better made too, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. This was written by a college student. The college student wrote the script for his films class, and I remember reading the Wikipedia for this a long time ago. He was at a museum and he was looking at like an old Scottish like kilt outfit on this dummy, and he was like, "Oh, what if like this person still lived today?" And then wrote the Highlander based on that, and then sold the script.
Oh wow.
But the script that was rewritten was not the same as what he wrote. But he made
started
a lot
a
of money,
franchise.
and he
Yeah.
started a franchise.
There you go.
How many feature films? 3 or 4?
There's like 6.
There's a couple of feature
wow.
films. Yeah, there's
There's
like
feature
straight to
films.
DVD
Yeah,
films.
yeah. There's a lot of straight to DVDs.
Yeah,
This
there-
was also a TV series.
Yes.
That ran for about
It was very
5,
popular.
6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It ran for a while.
I liked it.
I think it was like a
was a fun
sci-fi show.
Yeah. Sean Connery, no, not Sean Connery. Christopher Lambert shows up in like one episode in that TV
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
But
Like
he
one of the
kills
final Highlander movies, they fight each other.
it. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. But this one is the best one.
This movie starts in a wrestling match.
It does!
Oh wow.
It does. Yeah. yeah. It has a really good like helicopter pan, like crane pan.
Over the arena.
Yeah, you see like the entire arena watching this wrestling match from like super wide, and it slowly pans down all the way to Christopher Lambert.
He's
sitting
in the
a seat.
audience.
And it's such a great shot.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's an amazing
I only know
opening
one
shot.
of the wrestler teams in there. The Fabulous Freebirds are definitely like the main focus of that wrestling match. Michael P.S. Hayes.
Wasn't there like the animal or something
Is the
like that
guy.
in there? Or?
I don't think they were fighting Legion of Doom or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, but everybody's into wrestling.
Oh my God, 80s?
Oh,
Are you
and
kidding
that was
me?
the time, man.
And there's such crazy lighting on Christopher Lambert's face. Only his eyes are lit up.
Yeah. There's some dramatic lighting choices in this film.
Yeah.
And he's looking for somebody. Right?
He's waiting, because he feels another Highlander is.
You feel the presence of another
So
Highlander
Highlanders are
near
like,
you?
are they like a race or like something
Highlanders
like that?
are people who are immortal.
Immortal, right?
Yeah.
They don't explain why.
So, yeah, well, they
They're
do in
immortal?
the sequels, and I'm not going to get into it.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to get into it.
Don't do it.
Because it ruins.
There was a time and a place where there were people who were immortal who were born.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also inside all of these immortals is this drive to fight other immortals. So they're kind of like drawn to each other. They have
Okay.
like this internal GPS. So they're always like trying to seek each other out because the end goal is like the last person to die or the last person who's left.
Yeah,
I mean,
last man standing.
Inherits
basically the
all the-
quickening happenings
Yeah.
happens, and the quickening is where you basically like gain all knowledge.
Okay.
And you become like godlike, basically.
You've seen the movie The One, correct?
I have.
Yes. It's
Yes.
like The
Okay.
One.
I got you.
There can be only one in Highlander, except for the movie The One.
All right, I'll watch the one after.
Watch
this.
The One, because it's definitely just a remake
watch
of
that
Highlander.
version.
You watch
Yeah.
the one, we'll watch Highland.
Yeah, okay.
But it does start with that match.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens after?
He goes into like the parking structure.
I do
Parking
know the
structure.
parking garage
Yeah.
piece.
Go for it,
yeah.
guys.
Well, he's like ducking between the cars, and you kind of get glimpses of someone else in there.
Yeah, he already hit his like giant like katana or sword or whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes to grab it, and this like 60-year-old man in a black suit is like standing there like ready to fight him with his leather gloves on.
Because guns and like bombs and whatever doesn't work on a Highlander. There's only one way to kill a Highlander: chop off that head.
Yeah.
Decapitation.
Yes, that's how it's over. And so they have this awesome fight in this parking garage.
I feel like now, okay, the one thing I'm remembering, I feel like, is that they at one point they like cut like a sprinkler line or something in the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, it's raining water.
Yeah.
Well, I think when he cuts the head off, he gets the quickening to happen, and a small part of it like blows up the lights, and everything just
yeah.
explodes in the parking structure.
Yeah, as it's all happening, like all the cars are kind of like moving.
Everyone
and-
comes down and all their cars are broken and shit. They're
Yeah,
like, what the hell?
like the lights are all flashing and everything. The car's moving.
It'd be sweet to have security camera footage of that.
Yeah.
and then be
man.
like, "What the hell is
Some
going on?"
security
down
guard's like,
there?
I'm not gonna go check that
He just
out.
turns
I'm
off
just
the
gonna
TV
leave-
and just looks the other way.
Yeah. The screen was glitching, boss. I don't know.
Don't need to know about that. But yeah, they have this awesome fight on like car tops and he loses a sword underneath the car and gets it back, and sprinklers are going off, and eventually, he slices the old man's head off, and all of his power is
Goes into
absorbed. Yeah.
There's a lot of flashbacks in the Highlander film.
Yeah, I think there's a flashback like immediately
Because
after this.
Sean Connery is dead in present time.
Yes.
Yes, he's dead in the present time.
Yeah.
But they flash back.
We don't really meet Sean Connery for a little while.
they flash
though.
back to like
Yeah.
medieval England.
Connor
Yes.
McLeod? Is it
Connor
in this
McLeod.
one?
Yep. Yeah, they flash back to like a little tribe in Scotland.
Yeah.
Because he's like kind of like Braveheartish,
Yes.
like trying to raise a family and fight other people and just doing the Scottish stuff.
Yeah, because they're getting ready to go to battle against another, like, I guess against like England or something like that. There's like some like territorial dispute, which was like happening at that time all over, like trying to unify England and Scotland and Ireland.
Chris Lambert, is that a Scottish accent? That's an English accent.
So in the
What's
movie,
going on with Chris
in
Lambert's
the,
accent?
in the movie, he purposely chose an accent that had like a lot of blends of things.
I
So
see.
his voice does sound weird, but that's on purpose.
Yeah,
because he's
'cause he
like
is from all
lived-
over.
He's in
He's
the
lived so
movie.
many
You see him
lives.
living in France. You see him in like I think like Japan or something
He's
like
got
that.
a very unique look and voice, Christopher Lambert.
I don't think he's American either. I think he's like his mom was French or something like that. His dad was American.
Yeah, I feel like he could have had like the Kevin Costner route of like being famous, but he just never quite got there.
Yeah, he never really found the right roles.
I love him
in
as Raiden in the Mortal Kombat
Of course,
films,
Yeah.
of course.
but he just kind of like a lot of people just didn't want to cast him and stuff. I feel like he's a great actor.
Yeah, I mean, this is his movie though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's his baby boy.
Yeah. So they do cut back to early Scotland, and
Yeah.
there's a battle that they're preparing for.
He's got a lady friend. Right?
Yeah, I
He's got
think so.
Maybe even has a whole family for all I know. I'm not sure.
There's like this like kind of
Because-
ugly-ish woman that he's dating at the time. No.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was unfair. That was unfair. She's like kind of nasty. Like so what happens is in this battle, they end up meeting face to face with the Kurgan for the
I was
first
gonna say, I
Oh,
know
yes.
the kid, and he's got like some crazy armor or something on. doesn't
Yeah.
he?
Do you remember his name? We said it like 17 times. On
Clancy
the,
Brown.
Yeah,
Clancy
baby.
Brown. He's a Kurgan.
He's a Kurgan. What are you gonna do? And there's an awesome shot where there's a lot of
Awesome shots.
paintings. Yeah, matte paintings. But there's an awesome shot where he's like on his horse, and the horse like is a black horse. It like jumps up and like has a sword
Oh,
out,
yeah,
and like
classic-
lightning
Classic
strikes the
pose.
sword. It's like a fantasy painting.
Nice.
But anyway, nobody wants to fight the Kurgan.
Nobody can beat him.
Yeah.
They're having this battle, and everybody's like avoiding the Kurgan as he's like goes to fight them. He's like, "Why will nobody fight with me?" And Connor McLeod was doing that too. No one wanted to fight with him until they meet face to face, and it's like over before you know it. The Kurgan stabs him right in the stomach. And
Doesn't matter,
and
though.
and he falls over, and he's dead.
Wow.
But he's not, because he's a Highlander.
So they didn't know that, and he didn't know that too.
Oh.
So they have a funeral for him. They bury him,
And then he's zombies.
and then he's zombies. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he shows back up, and everybody in his village is like, "You're a freaking witch! Witch! Get him out!" And so they like
They throw tomatoes at him and dung.
they
and-
like put his
Oh,
they
they
have
put
like
him in
a
the stocks.
giant
Stocks.
log.
They put him in
Yeah.
the stocks.
Yeah, and they're like throwing rocks at his face and
Jeez.
stuff, and they're kicking him out of their
That's
village.
rude.
Yeah, so pretty early on, everybody in the village rejects him.
They chase the snakes and the Highlanders out of.
Yeah,
It's Ireland, but you know.
well, it's close. It's close.
They're right next to each other.
Yeah, close enough.
So he takes off. He's like,
He does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can't be there anymore. Does he
And I
goes
think
to
that's
England?
as much as like the flashback shows at that time.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like kicked out of his own.
Following the
Place.
flashback, though, when does he meet up with Sean Connery? When he goes to England?
So he gets in. He meets a girl. They get into a relationship, and then it's like maybe about a third of the way in.
Do they fight each other at first and then like find out that they're friends?
No. So Sean Connery's playing a Spaniard.
Yeah.
He's Spanish.
He's
but,
doing like a theater production, right?
But no, this is like the first time that he tells him that he's a Highlander, and they're both Highlanders, and so he's like, "I'm going to train you." I don't really know why he wants to train him though.
Yeah, because they have to fight each other at the end anyway. But better to fight your friend than to fight someone else at the end.
Yeah.
I think
maybe he just knows he can't beat the Kurgan, but this guy might be able to beat the Kurgan.
No,
so he's like, I'll
I think
train
he just
you.
wants to,
there might have
Be
been
buddies.
something like that. I
That's
don't
a good
know
question,
exactly.
though. Yeah, why would you train him if you got to kill him?
Yeah.
present day. What's going on with Highlander? He's living in like a sweet like attic loft thing.
The police show up at the parking garage like pretty early on, and because there's someone rolling by, and so as Christopher Lambert's trying to run away from killing that guy, he's like leaving the parking garage right as the police show up. So they think he's like suspicious, so they take him to the police station.
That's good police work.
Yeah. There is like a guy who's definitely playing like a dumb cop throughout the entire movie. So yeah, they do an interrogation, but like they have nothing on him. And he took his own sword and he hid it in the parking structure. So they don't have any evidence that he was there or he had anything to do with this.
But he goes back later to get that sword.
He does. And there's also a news reporter, I believe.
A lady.
She's like a historian, I believe. I think she works at a museum. So she's an expert in basically like the police.
Legends of Highlanders or something.
The police find a pillar that has like a chunk just like taken out of it.
Okay.
And so they're able to pull out like these shards of metal. And they go to this lady and they're like, "What is this?" And she's like,
"It's from the Highlands."
Yeah, she's like, "This is like
a Scottish claymore."
A Scottish, yeah, exactly. She like is able to like say like this is from like 1650 or something like that or 14 something.
Real classic.
Someone's using a 1400 knife in the parking garage in New York City.
Yeah,
Kidding me, lady.
Yeah, so they're trying to find like
chief guy.
Exactly. They're trying to find out like
I don't work for you.
who owns this sword and like how is it that old?
Interesting.
Yeah. So
does she try to trace down like is there actually like purchase history for the sword or something and she finds it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really remember how.
Maybe she comes back to the parking structure. I'm not sure how she like meets back up with the Highlander. But they start a thing.
So she does go back to the parking structure at the same time that he goes back to get his weapon.
Right.
And I don't know if like she sees him.
I would think that's how it would happen.
That makes sense. Yeah, that sounds
and
plausible.
Little meet cute up in the parking structure.
And so she starts to follow him, and he knows he's being followed.
Yeah.
And I think he like stops at a bar, and she stops at the bar, and they start up a conversation, and they're like, he's like purposely flirting with her, and then he turns it on her, and he knows like he's like, so why are you following me?
Oh yeah.
And like turns the tables on her. So.
And she's like, because you're hot.
You're a Highlander.
Because you're a Highlander.
So what's Highlander's like motivation in the film? He doesn't really want to like kill the Kurgan. I mean, he has to at the end, but he's just trying to like live life. He's been through like hundreds of years of relationships and
yes,
like
yeah,
living.
so there's like the Highlanders that are real committed to ascending to the ultimate Highlander status, and then there's like his kind of Highlander where you're just like, look, man, I just like being immortal. It's pretty rad.
I think that's what Sean Connery's character was like.
Yeah.
He didn't really want to fight. That's why he didn't fight.
Sense.
Connor, and trained him instead.
Yeah.
Whereas the Kurgan, like he
wants that.
He
power.
wants. That's
See,
what he wants.
He's after the prize.
I tell you, it's just like the one, because you got the one Jet Li who's just like, I don't even care. And you got the other one that's like, I need all the powers from the dimensions.
It's the the remake of Highlander.
Oh no! Oh no!
Never watched that movie.
Jason Statham's in it. So more Highlander stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if you guys know anything.
It's all out of order. I know. Like Sean Connery and the Kurgan have to fight up some stairs and a castle.
In the ruined
yes.
castle, yeah, it's just like empty castle.
Big
That's the
scene.
one I remember. That's like the last.
Okay,
one.
I can get you guys.
There's
there.
pictures of just like Christopher Lambert on like a horse, just looking all stoic. And like old timey.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. Is there like a period?
You guys definitely haven't seen this.
Is there
in
a moment
while.
where like you actually get to see
not much happens in it.
him in different periods of time living his life? Like, do they have pictures of him?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You see him in World War I. I think he's on the French side at the time.
Sacre bleu.
And during that flashback, they show that he runs into a house and there's a 6-year-old girl there,
And it's a Highlander.
and she's really scared, and so he ends up like taking her and helping her and taking care of her. And later on, when you it might have been World War II actually, but like later on in present day, that same girl ends up being his secretary.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so she knows that he's a Highlander at this point, and like she's really the only person that really knows.
She's like a vampire's assistant.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like much older than him, and he's still the same age.
They always use that as a conceit in the television show to like always like go back and show you like this is what this guy used to be doing.
Yeah.
Like this is how it relates to the story now. It's a
Yeah.
very neat storytelling device.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one flashes like back and forth a lot. So in the flashbacks, you get to see him like living. It just like automatically cuts
Yeah,
to like
he's
him
just, like,
living on
chopping
his own,
wood,
chopping
hanging
wood.
out, yeah.
Yep. He's already in a
shirtless and sweaty.
relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He dunks his head in a barrel.
Eats a big apple and puts his foot up on a stool.
Yep. And he's got this like super gorgeous Madonna looking chick.
Now we have a good looking wife, huh? This one's good enough for you?
Well, the other girl, I don't think
Jeez.
she was his wife, but like, I don't know. They made her look not so great. Because she's really nasty to him. She's the first one that calls him out as a witch.
Oh no.
And she's the one that like
Wow.
I
drives.
trusted you.
Betrayed.
I trusted you, Vanessa.
She convinces
No.
all the other guys who were buddies with him that he's
to shun him.
that he needs to leave. So she's
Get
a
outta
bad
there.
person.
As you're an immortal, how are you getting like ID, and where are you like storing
This is
money?
genuinely.
Do they have IDs?
So
Are
so
you-
this is genuinely something I've
Do you
thought
have a social
about for a long
security
time.
number? Like,
I actually just
Who's
saw a
keeping
movie
track
that
of you?
finally dealt with this issue.
Ooh.
There's some like there's like not a rom-com, but like a
a comrade.
romantic movie
I was gonna say, yeah.
where it's like about this woman who like gets in a car accident at this exact moment lightning hits the road or something and she becomes like immortal.
What?
And like basically the premise of the movie is like how like it's been such a pain in the butt for her to try and continue to exist without being discovered because she has to keep getting new fake identities and like that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting movie because it finally dealt with like I was like that'd be really challenging because you can't just be yourself. Like eventually they're gonna be like you are not 80s.
I guess I have to go live
That's
on
an
an
interesting
island or
plot.
something somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere secluded where that wouldn't matter.
Right. Well, like in the conflict of the movie is that like she meets this guy and they start like sort of dating and she's been kind of avoiding dating because it means there's increased risk of being found out. And she goes to meet his parents and like her dad is someone that she boned down with back in like the 40s or something.
Oh, no.
And he's just like, and that guy's wife is like, I'm your wife now, so please stop drooling over your son's girlfriend.
What
here,
movie is
please."
this called?
I'll have
What's
to
the
look
name
it
of
up.
this movie?
Harrison Ford's in it. He plays the dad that boned down.
Is he
What?
old? Is he an old man?
He's an older dude in the movie.
This is a recent movie.
Semi-recent. It's like probably early 2000s, maybe not late 90s, but
Really?
probably early 2000s.
Can't even Air Force One?
Blast from the Past?
Frantic?
I'll pull it up. Keep talking about Highlander though.
40 days and 40 nights?
Oh, that's a different movie.
There's a couple boning scenes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
With him in the
Yeah.
reporter or him in the past?
Both.
Or both. Yeah.
Both.
Nice.
Yep. So
Is
Yeah.
is a Highlander sterile or is he having kids? Does he have kids all over the world?
I don't think he does
my
have any
gosh.
kids.
It's a much more recent film than I thought. It's
I just was gonna
2015.
say-
It's called The Age of Adeline.
Oh, I have seen things.
It's a
on
good
Roku
movie.
about
I like
that
the movie. It's
like to
definitely
see
it's
it.
worth a watch.
I have no
yeah.
idea what it-
I liked it.
I like the premise a lot.
Adeline Marie Bowman was born on January 1st, 1908. Many years later, she would begin a family of her own. On a cold winter night in 1935, Adeline's life would change forever. In that moment, something incredible happened. Its effect was almost magical. Adeline Bowman will henceforth be immune to the ravages of time. She will never age another day.
That's one of those things I've thought about forever. I'm
Yeah,
like,
what
that
are-
seems
how-
like it'd be
yeah.
so hard to do.
How are vampires getting around? I mean, they
Yeah.
got like a society.
They're always
but-
like, yes, we've lived for millions of years, so now we're very wealthy. And I'm like, how has no one figured this out though? Like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
what is going on?
maybe they just pretend to die, you know, like
Yeah.
how the Apple guy like,
Maybe.
pretended to die and just like went off into space or
Because
something.
in this movie, she talks
Well, I
about like
think-
she
Or, like, an
specifically
underground
avoids
society.
photos. Like she doesn't want to be in pictures because that means like someone might notice that. Like she doesn't have long-term relationships. Like the one
Sure.
relationship she has is with her daughter, who she had before she was immortal. So like her daughter is like an old lady now, and it's like she's like taking care of her daughter as like she's getting into this age where she needs someone to like help her like with stuff. It's really good movie. Anyway,
Yeah, and,
Highlander.
and that kind of happens in Highlander too.
Yeah.
Or as well. No,
Don't get me
say
don't
it.
get
Don't
me
say
wrong.
it.
Highlander
Don't say
too.
it.
boy,
The guy made the
you got him real excited.
director
for a
made
minute.
the shadow. Okay.
Oh my God, Brad. So, I mean, like this girl that he sees in like 1500, Scotland, like he's in love with her, and they're together.
She grows into an old lady.
She grows into an old lady.
He's like, why are you still so young?
Yeah.
But he stays with her up in that old age until she dies.
And so I think he like realizes that he can't really have like a lot of people in his life because he
out with
constantly
everybody.
has people coming after him.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
there's
Being
both
hunted.
those
They're
reasons.
gonna be they're gonna be in their lives are gonna be in danger.
He's constantly being hunted.
Yeah, exactly. So so he doesn't really like date as much. And this news reporter, there's a lot of scenes where she's very weary of him because she comes to his apartment and I think he goes to her apartment as well. And like she sees like he has all of these like
Ancient
things. Like he has shields and crests and swords and just like
He likes antiques.
Yeah,
he has
yeah.
and that's basically what he does for a living is like he has like a
Antique dealership?
Yeah, he's a dealer. And so that's his cover, but he also has like matches, like he has these swords and she found these fragments like at this parking
He
garage.
sees it's missing, like
Yeah.
some pieces.
Yeah, and
So,
so
she's starting
She
to
puts
put
it
it together.
together.
Yeah.
so she's like trying to date him, but at the same time like find out more information about this. And he comes over to her apartment and she has like a tape recorder that's going, and he knows basically like she's recording him. So he's just like trying to play it like cool the entire time. And at the same time, the Kurgan kind
He's
of
on the
starts to
hunt.
show up
Yeah.
in what I think is like New York City is where this takes place.
He probably just kills for fun at this point. Just kills people or whatever.
Yeah,
Gives no
He's a
Fs.
crazy dude.
he
Yeah.
looks crazy in like the current time because he has like his throat was slashed and he has like stitches
Yeah. Didn't
all
quite-
the way across.
Yeah, that was the like either Sean Connery or somebody like almost cut his head off but couldn't quite do it. Or something
Yeah, we were
like that.
about to talk about that scene. Let's just do
Yeah,
it.
let's
So
do
there's one time where Connor like leaves out and it's just Connor's wife and Sean Connery there. And so the Kurgan shows up and there's this like what kind of wide angle lens shots which look a little weird at times. But yeah, they have this big sword fight in this giant tower, and there's just these like spiral stairs that Sean Connery
Super sweet.
keeps going up. And there's a storm that's happening outside, and as they're fighting, he's like throwing them into the walls, and then soon like the walls just like break.
Explode, yeah.
Yeah, they just like bust down and they're like falling apart, and they're just like standing on this like spiral staircase and there's like no building really around them anymore. And I believe Sean Connery does cut his throat.
Yeah.
Not deep enough to really like do too much damage, but he cuts his throat, so he bleeds everywhere. But then the man takes Sean Connery and I believe he throws him off the top of the stairs all the way down to the ground, and that's how he dies.
Doesn't cut his head off. That's interesting.
I think he comes back. You're right. He comes back down and he cuts his head off.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Or
Finishes
maybe he
the
cuts
job.
his head off right there at the top of the stairs,
And
and,
the
his body
body falls down.
falls.
Maybe-
He shows back up in the
That probably
sequel,
makes
so I don't
more
know what the
sense.
hell's going on.
Interesting though.
He shows back up in the sequel.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
I know.
And I think
Maybe-
what
maybe I
happens
don't know. Maybe
is
he
like the
just doesn't
Kurgan ends up raping his
Ew,
wife.
gross.
Kurgan. Gosh dang
Yeah.
it.
Jeez.
Yep, that's what he does.
I thought he was a cool guy, but
Ooh.
now.
Yeah,
What a jerk.
they don't show it or anything.
Yeah.
And they were mostly in present day for the rest of the film.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole like training montage. They're like, there's some goofy shots where they're fighting underwater. They're like underwater,
yeah.
like sword
sword
fighting,
fighting?
and there's like algae and stuff around them.
Oh, man.
It looks really dumb.
That's
Interesting.
silly.
It looks kind of stupid. But yeah, they're training a lot and they're running and sword fighting
Yeah.
and
And Chris Lambert has long hair in the past.
he does.
But in the present, he's got
Short
a
hair.
Short hair. And
He's
it's
got an
nice
80s
looking.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking fine.
He always looks like I can just picture every scene. It just feels like only his eyes are in light.
He's always like hard whispering too. Like they can like barely get his audio, so it's like crank up
Yeah.
the recording on that.
He
You
is
can hear what he's
whispering
saying.
most of the movie.
I am the Highlander. I'm the Highlander. I'm Batman. Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
That's gonna be him.
He has a fun
You like
laugh.
turn it up.
He has a fun laugh.
I think it's like that. It's like
That's so. Oh man, I'm so excited for this movie, you guys.
it's so fake.
He's got a sweet duster jacket though. A lot of the
He
time.
does.
Ooh, I like dusters.
Yeah, it's like say anything. Or say anything.
Might have been his favorite film. I don't know.
Who knows?
And so the Kurgan himself,
Yeah, he's like a Terminator coming for.
he looks like a punk. Like he's
Lambert.
got like
Yeah.
shaved sides and like a ponytail, but like none of his hair is like the same length. It's all super messy. And he's got like black eyeliner and tattoos all over his
His
body.
sword being pretty sweet too.
He's
Like
got
a
the
giant
huge
sword.
claymore
So-
because Connor McLeod has like a katana.
Yeah, there's an
style
amazing scene where he walks into what looks like a disgusting hotel, and he's just like, "Room for one, please." And this guy's like trying to sell him up, and there's like hookers right there, and they're like, "Hey, my name's Candy. Do you want a night with me?" And he's not like responding or anything. And then he goes to his room, and he opens this giant case, and he basically like pieces
Assembles a
together,
sword.
assembles
Oh,
his
man.
giant claymore. And there's a shot where like the girl like knocks on the door. It's like, "It's me, Candy." And then it's a close up on just like the side of his face, and he's like, "Yes, you are."
Oh, what a dirty,
Kurgan.
dirty man.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So he's just vicious.
Yeah, he's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what does he care? No one can hurt him,
Yeah. He's
and he can't get diseases. So any STD those hookers have
no coronavirus.
doesn't matter.
He's good to go.
No, he chopped her up.
Gross.
That's what he was doing.
That's
Oh,
gross.
damn.
Yeah.
Come on, Kurgan.
Yikes. So what else do you guys know?
The end scene is in like a big warehouse kind of area.
Sure.
And the fight's pretty long. The end fight scene is like
Yeah, it goes up to the rooftop.
15 minutes or something. It's a long time. I'm just like clashing swords together. And Clancy Brown like trading barbs about how he like killed like Sean Connery and stuff.
Yep.
Trying to get
Being
in
a
his
big
head,
jerk, yeah.
psych him out.
Yeah, because there's a
Kill his
couple
wife
scenes
and
where they like run into each other. Clancy Brown, I believe, meets him in
Just
like,
in, like, the streets?
in an alley,
Yeah.
and they start sword fighting. And then there's some crazy lunatic guy who sees them fighting, and he like has an Uzi, and he just like shows up and sees them fighting, and he just starts like shooting everywhere. And it like turns into chaos. Like people are running away, and they're trying to drive away, and like
Jeez.
yeah, this I think he shoots Clancy Brown a couple times, and it does not phase him whatsoever, and he goes up and he just
Do they fight on a bridge in this movie? Did I make that up? That might be a different Highlander film.
I think he did.
Okay. I probably
Yeah.
did.
Is there a moment where we see like we talk about how like the Kurgan killed him on the battlefield way back,
Yep.
but didn't know he was a Highlander, so he didn't know he had to chop off his head. Is there a piece where he like pieces that together and suddenly he's like, "Nah, I remember you."
I think,
you're like, "Ah,
uh,
stabbed."
Yeah.
No, I think the Kurgan always knew he was a Highlander because he had that sense, but Connor McLeod never knew he was a Highlander.
Does he have like a name that he keeps calling Christopher Lambert, like Scottish man or something?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
so it's like this version. It's
Like
like Kakarot or
right. Like, well, he's like, well,
Son
Sean
of
Connery's the
Jor-El.
Spaniard, and
Yeah.
I thought maybe like,
Oh, okay.
maybe he is just the Highlander. 'cause
Maybe
I
he's
think he
from the
just calls him
Highlander.
McLeod, maybe.
Maybe he calls him
or-
Highlander. He's from the Highlands,
I
right?
think McLeod. That's yeah. That
McLeod.
sounds right.
Yeah. I'm coming for you, Highlander.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a Highlander is Highlander. Like there isn't like
You're right,
a
you're
specific
right.
name for what these race of people
Immortals,
are.
Okay,
The
yeah,
immortals,
okay.
Yeah. You're right. You're
He's
right.
just called the Highlander because he's Scottish.
He's from
Yeah.
the Highlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a funny flashback where I think he's definitely in like 18th century France, I believe. And he's like super drunk, and he just got into a argument with somebody, and this guy like challenges him to a duel, and like a gun duel. And so he's like super wasted, and they keep dueling, and the guy like shoots Connor in the stomach, and he like falls over, and then he's just like, "Is that all you got?" And he like gets back up, and then the guy comes back, and he has to like shoot him again, and he's like, "Is that it? That's it?" And then the guy like grabs the gun again and shoots him again, and just like keeps going over and over and over again.
I feel like he's got a death wish at some point.
Yeah, he
'Cause
just didn't care.
Yeah. Everything good in his life has been taken away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just slumming it up in New York City.
Which I think there's a Twilight Zone episode kind of like
Oh,
Of course there is.
that. A guy can't die.
You better find that one. Talk about it in part 2.
No. There's a couple like meetings between the Kurgan and Connor, but it all kind of builds up to this final last moment where they know they're going to fight each other.
yes.
Is the reporter there?
Probably.
Like, is the stakes that like
She
at
might be
some
like-
point
she
she
might be
shows
in a
up
location.
halfway through the fight and he's like,
She
oh
might-
gosh, now I have to save
gets
her
knocked
and
out or
not
something, or-
get killed.
Yeah, she might be like
He has
kidnapped
like
or something like
flashbacks
that.
of his wife from before. Where he's like,
like-
I couldn't save her, but I can save you.
Yeah, I guess I can't really remember exactly, but they meet on like hollow ground or whatever it's called.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
They're at like a Catholic church, and so
Yeah, there are rules to Highlandering. You can't fight in a church, I think is like one of them, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like vampires can't walk in like cemeteries kind of deal.
Hey, they can't
There are
enter a doorway
rules.
unless they're invited.
Yeah.
right, because Connor goes to the church, and I think he's just waiting for him. They were gonna meet to talk, and then Clancy Brown shows up, and they have their little chit chat about having this fight coming up, and he's like trying to intimidate all the nuns that are around and the priests and everything, making them feel like
Yep.
gross.
Can't water Highlanders after midnight.
Yep.
They can't eat, chicken on hollowed ground.
So many rules.
Apparently they can cut their hair. That's cool.
Yeah.
The last scene is all I can get you. Do you have anything in the fight scene that is important that you want to hit on?
Well, they fight, and then I think they go up to the rooftop and fight, and they're on a billboard, or there's a
Yeah.
billboard that falls over or something like that.
Okay.
I don't really know what's happening with that, but yeah, there's like someone's hanging from a billboard at
Oh,
some
maybe that's
point.
what I'm thinking about the bridge part. Maybe I'm conflating it with the.
Maybe.
You
hanging
might
from a
be,
billboard.
yeah.
Because I remember like
There might be like a
scaffolding
big
or
fire or
something.
something like that. Can't really remember.
But the whole thing ends with
Clancy Brown gets his head,
got his head
chopped
chopped
off.
and then the coolest scene in movie history begins.
Yes.
As crazy painted on digital effects start, all the windows around Connor like explode.
oh,
yep.
He
geez.
starts floating into the air.
Yes.
Like screaming into the sky, and just white light is just everywhere.
And he has to say, there can be only one.
yeah, he says it very loudly.
And as soon as he says one, everything's just like just shatters.
And he gets all the Kurgan
he gets all the
energy.
powers, yeah.
They couldn't have been the last Highlander, right? Because there's more movies.
So there was never a plan for there to be sequels to
Yeah.
this film.
right.
Never ever. It was written to be, this is the movie, we're done after this movie.
Right.
Right.
So this last scene is like the epitome of the Highlander powers.
Gotcha.
But then they're like, but it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we're going to go
Yeah,
ahead
that's
and
why
make
it gets
some more of this
confusing.
stuff.
Gets a little confusing.
Yeah.
How do you top the Kurgan, though?
It was a movie that should have never had a sequel.
Yeah.
But it made too much money. Too big to fail.
That does happen.
But it failed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Other than that,
yeah,
like
he probably like just hangs out with that
the
lady.
police are like constantly like trying to figure it out.
He probably gets like a voiceover at the end. He's like walking into the distance.
Oh, I almost forgot to mention this. You have to listen to the opening. The opening is so good. So, like, the opening's just a black screen with titles and Sean Connery speaking, but listen to the audio.
Does he just not
He
care?
is in a bathroom. And I'm not even lying to you. That's a fact. He
Oh
literally
my gosh.
recorded it in a bathroom, and you can hear it. It's
That's
so
amazing.
echoey.
Yeah.
There's a flush while he's halfway through.
He just did not care.
From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you, until now.
So,
Well, why did
sometimes
they
you get those
record it there?
Yeah, sometimes you get those voiceovers where you're just like, I'm phoning this one in. Literally. I'm
I
just
almost
gonna
forgot to
do it
mention
over the
that. I'm
phone.
glad.
It's like the classic Harrison Ford Blade Runner voiceover where he's just
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing this.
Well, they have the voiceover to explain like what a Highlander is.
Yeah.
They kind of needed that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that sounds like it would it'd be kind of necessary.
It'd be hard to follow the story if you didn't have
Yes.
that set up.
And I don't think it'd be something you could easily just show.
And then does he like slash the screen and like the
They bust
thing
through
falls
it.
apart? And
Here we are.
Or they do the fire in the middle out to the sides and
Yeah.
then starts
I mean, there's
transition.
what, like 3 Queen songs in this movie? That's the only one that like anybody
that's
remembers.
the theme song to Highlander.
But I think there's
Yeah.
like 3 Queen songs
Ooh,
that,
okay.
that were
That's
specifically
awesome.
written for
That
this.
sounds really
that's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Couldn't have chose a better artist at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the only other movie that they did was
The Flash
Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Flash.
They should have written a lot more theme songs.
For
They
sure.
were good at
For
it.
sure.
Maybe there's some like B-side unreleased
Yeah.
theme
Ooh,
songs.
they okay.
Oh,
So they did the "Here We Are" song.
Yeah.
but they also did "Who Wants to Live."
I thought that was all part of the same song.
Forever. No, that's a definitely a different one.
Oh.
That's a sex scene song, I believe.
Ooh.
Who wants to live forever?
Oh man, I can't
It's
wait
so
to watch
good.
this movie.
Both of those songs are like 10 out of 10.
And the movie just looks like so high contrasty. It's like the present day, like New York looks very dark and grungy, and then like go to the flashbacks. It's a little bit brighter, but it is like a lot of exterior shots, a lot of natural lighting all over the place. They weren't spending a lot of money to make Highlander,
No.
so they cut some costs here and there.
Yeah.
And the weird digital effect at the end, where it's like painted over, like there's like black holes and all this weird stuff like floating around him and like circles of smoke.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yeah, you see that a lot. There's a lot of like lightning shots, but they're all
lightning and air
they're
quotes.
all just drawn
Painted
in.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite like looking lightning. They did that in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I will say, like the spiral staircase and like the building falling apart, that looks like styrofoam at times. Like
That's-
the
that's
way
what
it
I
falls
remember.
apart, it kind of falls out and then down, which doesn't make sense.
In my head, it
Instead
looks
of just
really
over.
like television set kind of
Yeah.
cheesy, but
Yeah.
so I'm curious to see.
Maybe that's in my head as how I'm
Maybe.
picturing it, but there's some campiness to
Yeah,
this.
we'll have to find out.
But I think it's better for the campiness.
I mean, you just have to do it. There's no other way. The project in scope is so big.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
For
it
a
takes
movie
itself
like this-
mostly serious, and then there's parts that are a little bit campy.
Yeah, and when you don't
Like the
have
dual
a
part
humongous
is
budget.
specifically a joke in the movie. You know, it's meant to be funny.
Yeah,
He's not taking like his own mortality serious anymore.
Well, we ready?
I think we are.
I'm ready.
We're ready. We're gonna watch Highlander,
Of course.
and we're gonna come back here,
Of course.
and we're gonna talk about it.
Of course.
It's gonna be good.
So join us on part 2.
Hooray, America.
You must learn to conceal your special gift and harness your power until the time of the gathering.
What gathering?
When only a few of us are left, we will feel an irresistible pull towards a faraway land to fight for the prize. Come on! Faster!
Welcome back to the "It's Better to Burn Out Than Fade Away" podcast. We watched Highlander.
Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. Oh my god. I will say there are some goofy moments in this movie.
A few, just a few goofy moments.
It's
The
is it a
backflips?
few or is it a lot?
The backflips
It's
for
the
the
whole movie.
the guy in the
I love it even
the old
more.
man in the suit doing backflips is the first goofy thing.
Oh my
yeah, there were
God,
some
yes.
weird cuts because like there was a cut where he was doing backflips and then it cut to him just walking and then it cut back later and he was doing more backflips and I
Yeah.
was like, did he continue? He picked it back up?
It was very confusing.
It was. There was a lot of confusing moments.
The aerial shot in the beginning of the film
Wasn't that
was
sweet?
specially designed by the maker of the Steadicam. And it's the same sort of technology they use on football fields
That's
nowadays.
what I was
where
assuming.
where
It's the wires.
It's the 4
Yeah.
wires moving the camera.
That makes sense.
It was cool
I
looking.
have to imagine it being like a giant camera up there, though.
right. Yeah, like they had been some
Yeah,
really
Why
it
did
heavy
they add like a
cables.
helicopter sound effect to it?
Yeah.
That was something they did. I don't
Guys,
know why.
before that even though.
Before that, even.
You got to talk about
Can
the
we talk
bathroom?
about
The narration?
Can we talk about the Studio Canal logo popping up on the movie? I don't know if you guys,
Oh,
if your version contained this.
Oh, I'm glad
It was
you're
just
actually
like-
starting there because did you also see the Canon Pictures logo?
No, I didn't see any of these.
Oh
my
my
gosh.
god, Canon Pictures helped produce this.
Dude, this is crazy. Like the movie starts and it's just like clouds, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
neat movie. And then it's just wildlife noises, and I'm like, what's happening?
You've
And then
never seen that logo before?
it went forever, and all of a sudden it's like Studio Canal, and I was like, oh, I thought this was the movie. I was very confused, and then it just moves on to the
Just wait
to
until
the
it's
Canon logo.
yeah.
It's
Wait
fun,
till it
it's
gets
fun to think
the-
about if the credits count as part of the film.
Yeah.
or not.
Oh my god, yeah. Like in The Room, it says like Wiseau
Yeah,
Pictures,
that's
and then
true.
it says like Wiseau Films or
Yeah.
something like that.
It always reminds you of what it just said with the start of the film. I don't know why that's a thing.
Yeah.
But did you guys listen to the opening narration?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Recorded in a bathroom.
I didn't hate it.
I know. It sounded.
It sounded okay.
It just sounded reverby.
yeah.
It actually,
It
I
was
think
very-
it made sense.
Yeah, it gave it more of like an ominous feel.
Also, apparently, Sean Connery's dialect coach was in the room, in the bathroom with him, making sure he
Yeah, flushing the toilets.
specifically talked in
Just
that
going
manner.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean Connery just gave no Fs, no shits. He's just like, I'm gonna film for a week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
He had fun.
Get in, get
do
out.
I was looking at the back of the fight, the Kurgan fight, because I'm for sure they filmed all of Sean's side first, and then just swung in a stunt double for the rest of it. I was like, "Where's not Sean Connery?" And go, "There's not Sean Connery." There's
Yeah,
not Sean
you
Connery.
could tell
there's not Sean
because
Connery.
he was the not Sean Connery was a little bit more. He had a few more donuts than regular Sean Connery did.
He only had a week of shooting. That's all he would give him.
Is that it? He only had a week.
Made $1 million off a week of shooting this film.
Wow.
He looks great too.
He's running on a beach,
Yeah,
That's true.
He looks good.
He's wearing that insane hat,
He's got that peacock coat. He's peacocking, baby.
So we do understand that the Highlander is just the Highlander. He's
from the
his
Highlands.
own. Yeah, he's from the Highlands. He's
Yep.
not.
And a
all-
Kurgan
all
is a
immortal.
race of people called the Kurgans.
No, the
too.
Kurgan's just the Kurgan.
Well,
No. There's a
no.
group of
Well, he was
people.
saying that the Kurgan comes from a region in Russia,
Okay.
but I think the Kurgan's just the Kurgan as well.
Yeah.
I think Sean Connery has an offhanded line where he talks about the Kurgans
They're
as
a race.
people.
Okay, maybe you're right.
I do
you might
like
be right.
the goofiness of Sean Connery being a Scottish actor playing someone
Spaniard.
from Spain who was,
Who was
born,
born
in
in
Egypt. I'm like, what?
It's like Carmen
Yeah.
Sandiego
was
trying
like,
to figure out where this
You
guy
had,
comes from.
you had the easiest layup of a Scottish dude talking to the Highlander, and you were like, let's make it weird.
Yeah. Take the Scottish guy and make him Spanish, and take a. I don't even know where Christopher Lambert is. He French?
I think
French.
he speaks French. Yeah, I don't know if he's from France
But
specifically,
he-
but
He got hired on this
He's
project and he
Scottish.
didn't know English.
Right.
wow, I never would have guessed.
Well, they do. I mean, so Sean Connery's character says that he's from like 500 BC or something like that. So
Yeah.
he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep, over
And,
2,000 years, I think he says.
Yeah, or maybe longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
is there there's a finite number of Highlanders that can be born?
So
And when
I
1984
guess so.
comes around, or 1986, whenever this movie got made, that's when the
Yeah, so
quickening has
they
to
were
happen?
saying, it was like there's like they're being created, or like they're just
They've
are,
been
and then
created since
there-
the beginning of time. Is
There
what the
will be
narration
an
says.
event, like it's like a
They're
thing.
called The Gathering.
The Gathering, yeah, which is like you'll all gather in a faraway land called New York City and have like a straight up final showdown of all the immortals.
Yeah, I think so they were saying like there's like an energy that's pushing all of these immortals together to want them to fight.
Yeah.
And the closer it gets to just being like two left, there's a very strong urge for them to just fight each other. Whoever wins, they get all the knowledge of the world, and they can hear people's thoughts. They know everything. So I guess that's like the end result of
there could be no more Highlanders born.
I guess not, but
Except for the one that I guess that wins the thing, because he says after he wins
I think
that
he
he can now
becomes
have
mortal.
children.
Oh yeah,
he
Yeah.
becomes mortal basically.
that's
Yep.
his prize.
Yeah.
So the prize is he becomes
Mortality.
mortality, and he's all knowing.
And you get to hang out on a cliffside with a babe and drink
And have
wine
kids. You
and
can
have
make
apples.
kids finally.
Exactly.
So just
how that
make
movie ends.
get to making.
I mean, he's got millions and millions of dollars with all of that equipment and all the weapons and the ancient stuff that he
And
has
that
in his
insane apartment he has.
insane apartment. Oh my god, in that back room,
Yeah, the
with the
circle
round
room.
with the round couch.
Oh yeah.
That was some interesting. There's interesting camera
That's
work
a-
for
that's-
sure in this film.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of really cool steady shots
Even-
that
Yes.
kind of give me a vibe of like Stanley Kubrick in a way.
Yeah,
So a
I
couple
could
of
see
Like it's
that.
like
were making me sick,
mid-waist
but-
steady cam shots that look like The Shining.
and then it always like reverses to the other side.
And then it reverses. Yeah, you get a lot of that in the police station.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, this feels like Stanley Kubrick shot this.
Yeah. A lot
But not
of, like,
not every shot. There's a lot of like
a lot of low angle close ups, like for the inserts, like where someone will have a reaction and it's always like down right below their chin line, just right in their face, and there was like, oh, and every
there's a
time.
lot of style in this.
It gets
in
nuts.
this
Like
movie.
the
there's some
wrestling
good, some bad.
flyover. There's like the wrestling flyover, and there's like the 360 in the circle room. They both use a really strong fisheye as they're moving around, and I was getting a little seasick watching it. But I was
Yep.
like, interesting choices.
They have that. I forgot about that like classic match cut where they have Christopher Lambert's face and then it blends into Mona Lisa.
There's a few of those in there.
Yeah,
They really
tried.
Their scene
Yeah.
transitions were like they put a lot of effort into
Yeah,
them in
his
this
like
movie.
flashback comes like like through his eyeball,
Yep.
like
Yep.
out of it.
And that shot in particular, they didn't remaster that one shot. I don't know if it was because of the graphic, but you could tell the quality of the image is really, really poor.
There were some moments like that where like there's just too much grain in the movie. I was like,
Yeah, that shot in particular,
Odd
it was
shot.
really poor because it like he's like dying on the battlefield and then it zooms out through his own eyeball.
It was
cool.
Yeah.
Cool
there was
effort.
some really cool, like, again, the transitions. They have the one where it goes from the parking garage and they just raise up and suddenly
Into
you're in Scotland
the
on
Highlands.
up top. And then same with like you're in his apartment in his aquarium and you pan up and then it's him and Ramirez on the boat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, they were really trying with these scene transitions.
Yeah.
They're
They
pretty
wanted to make
cool.
sure you were in a flashback, you know?
Yeah, because it was cutting back and forth quite rapidly at times.
So should we start with the parking garage?
Sure.
The quickening.
Yeah, that guy
first
was doing a lot
quickening.
of backflips.
Yeah.
There are so many steam pipes in this parking garage. I thought he cut a sprinkler
Yeah.
line, but he cuts a steam pipe but sets off the sprinklers.
There's a few times where the Highlanders like
But-
to fight with pipes instead of swords.
That's true.
They can't get to their swords, so they just grab a pipe off a wall or off a floor. And
Yeah,
fight
they're like,
with
where's the nearest pipe? There's a lot of them.
it. It's sword-like enough. It's fine.
That guy looked like a blonde Michael McKean.
He looked like just like a generic bad guy from any movie ever.
Yeah, he
Just
had the
like-
sunglasses on.
He's like the
entire
third or
time.
fourth bad guy in a movie, but somehow he's like the main.
He-
bad guy
yeah,
at
he's like the
start
bad
of
guy
this.
in a kung fu movie.
He didn't
Yeah.
have any
The white,
lines.
the white guy.
Yeah,
just an old
yeah,
dude.
exactly.
The white bad guy in a kung fu movie.
Was it just because he's like a good sword fighter as like an actual person, and they just casted him in this to be a sword fighter? Because it didn't seem like he was like
He could
that
have been a stunt
great.
guy,
Yeah,
possibly.
probably.
I would
Because he
assume
didn't
he'd
have
be a
very
stunt
many
guy.
lines. He was just like, "Hey, McLeod," and then they fought.
I did like that they do establish they kind of know each other ahead of time because he's like McLeod, and then he turns around. I think he says the guy's name back to him, and then they just start fighting. He's just like, all right, we're
Urge to
doing
fight.
this.
It's here to go.
So I guess like, is there a time in because Ramirez is immortal as well? Is there a time where they didn't have an urge to fight each other, and now they do? Now that we're in like present day.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
1980s?
he made it sound like they didn't like the Kurgan was doing it just because that's who the Kurgan is.
Yeah.
But it sounded like the rest of them didn't really care. It's like there was going to be a moment though where there was like a switch flipped, where now suddenly they just feel compelled to fight each other.
Okay, yeah, because he met that one guy on the bridge.
Yes, on the bridge. I
and they
mentioned
were
that one, too.
talking, and like he didn't want to drink the wine because he thought it might have been poisoned.
Yep.
But like they were like, when the time comes, are we gonna fight each other? And I was like, well, you guys aren't fighting now, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. When will the time come? What
Some
is the
Highlanders
time?
can just be friends.
It
for,
seems.
for a while, but I think there just is going to have to be.
There's
There
always
could be
that
only one.
underlying tension of like, we'll probably have to
Yeah.
kill each other someday.
That's where it got problematic in the television show because you were rooting for both characters, and you knew like at some point it was just going to be down to them.
Yeah.
and they were going to have to fight and kill each other, and they knew it too.
Right.
Like, it was just all part of the code. Like when it comes time, we're going to have to kill each other. But until that time comes, we're going to be on the same side.
I wonder if I should watch the Highlander series. My aunt a long time ago told me that she loved the show when it was on.
Yeah, I remember liking the show, but it'd probably be too sleepy for me now. It's like
a little too
45
slow.
minutes long.
Oh
and,
God, yeah.
I think every episode ends with like a quickening and like a bad guy getting killed. Maybe there's like a few episode arc of
All right,
villain,
you
but
got to watch it. It sounds like it's right up your alley.
I might like it.
I really like the main character. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, that I can picture that guy's face.
Yeah.
Just don't know
Antonio
anything
Sabato
else.
Jr.? I made that up. That's not right.
What? Where did that name come from? Antonio Sabato Jr.
But in this movie, Lambert has the biggest forehead.
He's got
He does.
great eyes,
He's got-
too.
He does have good
I'm
eyes.
telling you that
Deep set eyes.
he's got that like just light in his eyes.
Yeah, he did.
The rest of his face is dark. There's only light in his eyes.
I thought his wig looked good in the past. He like even put it in water, like dunked it in water and
Yeah.
shot it back.
Yeah.
And I was
Worked
like,
out pretty well.
That's glued on real good.
That might have been real hair that maybe
No.
they. You don't think so? Like maybe they shot that first?
No.
Yeah, you're right. 'Cause it was all
Oh,
dreadlocked
man.
and stuff.
Now, in part one, we weren't sure, like, when there's the battle in the Highlands between the two clans. We
It
weren't-
happens like pretty early.
pretty early, but we weren't sure why the Kurgan doesn't behead McLeod then. Like, we stabbed him in the stomach, and we're like, maybe he didn't realize, but he definitely knew. 'Cause
Yeah.
He was
He
there.
was about
He was there
to.
just to kill McLeod, because he
Right.
wasn't even part of that dude's clan. It sounds like he was hired in, because the other clan was like, remember our deal.
And nobody wants to
boys.
fight the Highlander because the Kurgan
Right.
has claim to him.
Yes, exactly. So he's standing around trying to kill somebody because it's like his first battle, apparently, even though he's like
fight
40. And yeah, Kurgan shows
They
up.
won't fight me.
And then he monologues. He's like, he stabs him and he's about to like behead him. And then he waits like 10 minutes. And then all of the Highlanders
friends,
bros,
yeah.
they're like, oh God, help.
yeah. And Andy, Brad.
Oh,
You guys watch Game of Thrones. Did you notice anybody who was in the McLeod clan?
Was it the old king who dies in the first 2 episodes or whatever?
no, it was the guy who banishes him instead of having him killed.
The
Yeah.
Night Watch guy.
Yes.
The
Oh,
original guy who was the
the
leader of the
head
Night
of the Night
Watch.
Watch. That's right. I didn't connect those dots until you said it just now. But he was. I was like watching it like he felt familiar, and now that you said it, I'm like,
So
yep,
the
exactly.
same guy that was they were originally gonna his Connor McLeod's girlfriend wanted to burn him alive, and then the one guy was
Yes.
like, "No, let's banish him." The guy who said "let's banish him" was the guy.
And he's like, "Can you walk?" He's like, "I'll walk out of here." Yeah, like that. The dude who says that too is
yeah.
Also, you gave a lot of grief to that girlfriend in the part 1. And
I did.
She's good looking. She's a fine looking lady.
She's all right.
I meant, well, yeah, I guess
Her personality though is ugly.
that's what I was trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
But it definitely didn't come out.
I
I
only
just said
see
she
inner
was out.
beauty. I'm Andy Moldenhauer.
Oh,
No, I see outer too, strictly. Only.
Man, yeah, because it's like her and his best bud are like the two of them just immediately are just
Yeah,
like
it's
he
turned on.
should have been dead and he's not, and now I'm mad and it's the devil. And you're like, guys, calm down, man.
Yeah, well, she turns on him real fast.
Oh yeah,
She's the one who put it out there that he's a witch.
It's the work of Satan.
Or, yeah, not a witch, but that the devil's inside him.
And like his
'Cause he
buddy's
shoulda
like,
died.
"You were Connor McLeod. I don't know who you are now."
Right.
Does he have to eat? Probably not, right?
I don't
He can't starve to death.
Doesn't have to breathe.
He can't breathe.
So
He'll be
I
pretty
assume
weak
can
if he
probably not
doesn't.
eat.
He's probably got to eat something.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Tough question. That's a good
I
question.
don't know if
Brad.
he eats in the movie, to be honest. I can't.
I didn't see him eat. I saw him
can't,
drink some Hennessy from 1783.
Oh,
Yeah.
he smells the whiskey or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. That's deep questions for the Highlander lore.
Yeah, I
He
think
gets
this,
another lady
this
a
movie
couple
opened
hundred
up a
years
couple
later.
questions where I was like, this doesn't quite make sense.
Well, there's a lot of things to get into,
Yes.
and they do a little bit in the second movie where they call them aliens, but then they make the third movie and be like, the second movie didn't happen.
I know.
So it's like, okay, well,
they just wanted to make more money.
we're jumping all over the. What is canon and what is not
Yeah.
canon?
Yeah, like the second one had a giant dome that covered the sky, so all the Highlanders were started to age because they couldn't get
I
sunlight.
think the second one is just like
I'm
an
like,
alternate
what is
take.
happening?
Yeah.
I thought there weren't any Highlanders anymore.
I don't think they
Christopher
count
Lambert's
that one.
mortal.
Wow.
They ignored the first one.
Oh man.
It's like an alternate reality.
I know it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But he meets that lady. There's the reporter lady. Mm-hmm. So he's got
She
No,
claims
the
she's a reporter.
Forensics lab lady.
forensics lab.
Yeah,
She claims she works for like a museum.
Right. That's what it was.
Yeah, for the Metropolitan Museum. And then he's like, "Joke's on you. I'm super smart because I've lived for 1,000,000 years. I know you're not." Because he finds the tape recorder right away and the gun.
And she's there because I can't remember why she's there exactly.
She has like some sort of urge just to solve the crime.
She's really interested. Like, and I think she just is invested because the case is so unusual. When they like find the pieces of the ancient
It gets her
sword in
excited,
the parking
yeah.
garage, she's like,
Yeah,
"Who
He's
is
got an
this?"
infatuation with like getting down.
Plus, he's
to
hot
what's
as
going
hell.
on.
Of course, she wants to get with him.
So she finds some of the. Well, they find like she works for the lab, I guess, and they say that the guy's head was just like so perfectly sliced off that it would
Yeah.
have had to been a certain kind of metal.
Well, they
And then
find- oh, right.
they find like shards of or like scrapings of metal in his wounds.
Yeah, and in the concrete pillar.
And then-
which you
and then she
mentioned,
finds that
she goes
later,
back later
yeah.
to find that, and that's when he kind of sees her.
And they find that sword too.
Yes.
They find the guy
The other
guy
guy's
who's dead.
sword,
It was
yeah.
Tony Salamanca something or what some kind of sword.
There's a classic like CSI crime scene investigation part in this movie.
Yeah.
Where like the police officers are like bad at their jobs. The guy's like walking over a
Frickin',
body with a cup of coffee.
Gosh dang Garfield over here,
Oh
just
my
like
god, the
oh
the
my
cop
gosh.
sequence was so silly.
There's so many people just like around surrounding the decapitated
yeah,
corpse.
dropping the F-bomb, just like being classic 80s New York cops.
Yeah,
And they take in Connor McLeod for questioning.
Oh yeah,
right, because he's like speeding
he's
to get out of
tearing
the
out of
parking
there in his
lot.
little MG. He's
Which-
like,
another interesting shot because they put the camera on the back of the car while he's driving,
Which looks cool.
So
It
you get
looks
like a
really
video
cool.
game
It looks
style
so
feel of him
cool.
driving through a parking structure.
Yeah,
That's a great way to place a camera
love
out there.
it.
Anyone
I love
making a
it.
film, that's the way to do it. It feels so good.
It looks like they attached like a pole to the bumper, but they stop him and then they take him in for questioning. Mm-hmm. And it's like a good cop, bad cop type situation.
But the bad cop like calls him gay. Like that's his like trump card that he
There was
pulls
like,
on
there was
him.
like good cop, bad cop, dumb cop because Garfield is
Yes.
still in the room. There's two other detectives. The one detective's kind of being inept. The other detective thinks McCloud is funny and is just sort of on his side. It seems like, but not saying anything. And
Well,
then
I thi-
Garfield is
yeah.
just being a doofus.
What I think you did, McCloud, is you're back there to suck some guy's dick.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
You
What did
didn't
you
want
jump
to
to
pay
this?
him.
What are you
trying to
You're
say,
a police
Garfield?
officer.
Yeah, it was like two detectives and a police officer. Why is the police officer
You're putting
there?
your own like sexual repression.
And then Garfield goes in for a
Conn
swing, and
McCloud.
McCloud's just like, juke?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't even move, pal. Don't give me a reason. He gets a gun right next to his face.
That was odd.
What a doofus. Oh, Garfield.
He's shining. He's getting his moment.
Ever see this guy before, Nash? Name's Vasilek, Polish national. Had his head chopped off in New Jersey 2 nights ago. You ever get over to New Jersey, Nash?
Not if I can help it.
You talk funny, Nash. Where are you from?
Lots of different places.
You're an antique dealer, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. What's that?
A sword?
Wise up, smartass.
It's a Toledo Salamanca broadsword worth about $1 million.
So?
So you want to hear a theory?
Mm-hmm.
You went down that garage to buy this sword from that guy. What's his name?
I don't know, you tell me.
Okay, his name is Aman Fazil, and you fought about the price and cut off his head.
Want to hear another theory? This Fazil was so upset about the lousy wrestling tonight. He went down to the garage and in a fit of depression cut off his own head.
That's not funny, Walt.
You a faggot, Nash?
Why, Garfield? You cruising for a piece of ass?
I'll tell you what happened, Russell. You went down to the garage for a blowjob. You just didn't want to pay for it.
What I love about this, there's a lot of like just very insignificant characters in
Yeah.
scenes who have lines.
There is, well,
and I love it.
On top of that, you have the fact that, as far as I can tell, 100% of this movie is all ADR. And so, and so every line that's like just a throwaway, you manage to hear it because it's layered in the track. So it's like, even if it was supposed to be blended under, you'll hear like those goofy lines and they just stand out. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're just clearly other
There's
recordings.
a police officer that you would play in the film. Do you know what I'm talking about? That bald guy. They cut to him, he's just eating a bag of Doritos.
yes. That guy is he's in a lot of stuff.
He is, yeah.
I don't know who he is, but he's one of those like you know his face, you have no idea what his name is.
You want to get Andy Moldy in a movie, put it in the writer.
Oh, yeah.
my
He's
God.
got to be eating a bag of Doritos in every scene.
A classic
Every
white
single
bag of
scene.
Doritos with some red and blue in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. My God, son.
Oh man, we were also unclear about how Ramirez dies.
Yes,
we
he does get his head chopped off.
They fight up the stairs. We weren't sure. We were like, maybe he gets thrown down the stairs.
Kerrigan gets thrown off.
Kerrigan comes down and chops his head off. Yeah, Kerrigan gets thrown down, and then they go back up the stairs again.
Yeah.
And then
It was a bad position for Ramirez.
Ramirez, yeah, I guess just sort of like he kind of gets beaten, sort of like it wasn't even like he was that injured, but all of a sudden he's just sort of like, well, I've lost.
He's got his body cut real good.
Yeah.
The Kurgan actually like hits him with the sword, not like slashes or cuts him, but like just hits him with the sword. It's like that's not how you use a sword,
Right.
Kurgan. What are you doing?
Depends though. He had some spikes on the sides of that sword. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember.
that's
seeing
Everyone
true.
had really
That's
cool,
true.
unique swords.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God. I even like
That was a claymore,
the
right?
Highlander's first sword looks sweet.
Yeah.
One before Ramirez.
Yeah,
gets
and that's
his
the one
sword.
that's on like the cover of
yeah.
the movie,
That looks
and
great.
And it says McCloud, I think, on it.
yeah, but he like
right?
only uses it back in the old days.
In
And
the
like once he
original
gets
fight.
Ramirez's sword, he's like, this sword's way better than my sword.
It is. He gets an
Yeah.
upgrade.
Yeah.
That sword is better.
folded 200 times.
By
Now-
Masamune.
Now, a question did pop up. Ramirez, he just appears in the middle
Yeah,
of
he just straight up shows up.
McLeod and his girlfriend bing bonging.
Yeah.
And he just shows up. What seems like he just like warps into
He does,
into
he
the
just,
scene.
He just like jumps over them. He's like,
there's like a
"McLeod!"
shot of lightning as he like jumps over them, and I'm like, did he just warp into that scene?
Oh, you just reminded me of one of the most confusing scenes in this movie, which is when he's explaining what the quickening is to McLeod.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 cuts, and each cut is like he's talking to him in like the whole time, but they keep moving around, and then lightning is striking just
Yes.
McLeod. And I'm like,
Yes.
did they kill a Highlander? Why is he getting quickened right now? Like, what's happening?
Yes, I know exactly
It
what you're
was
talking about because
real
I was like,
weird.
these are some interesting, strange cuts.
I
And they're
did not
fast.
understand them. Yeah, they were like moving all over the place. Then he's on a cliff, and then they're back by the tower, and I'm like, okay.
I was like, maybe they didn't have enough footage, and they were
Yeah.
just cutting back and forth between
I mean,
shots.
that could be.
the only
Again,
shots they had.
in the scheme of the movie, not that big a deal. But it was just very, very
it was a
disorienting.
choice for sure.
Yes.
But my question was like, why is Ramirez? Why does he feel an urge to even help the Highlander?
He says he was
and
tracking the
explain?
Kurgan because he's like, that's why
Yeah.
I'm here. This is I was following the Kurgan.
And it seemed like it was one of those things where he knows the Kurgan was focused on McLeod, but didn't kill him. And so maybe he's like, I need to talk to this McLeod guy. How did he not get killed by Kurgan? Mm-hmm. And maybe he's the one that can kill the Kurgan. Because it seemed like Ramirez was just like, we got to train up, man, because this dude is the strongest of us all, and
Yeah.
we need to take him out.
It would have been interesting if, in his like last breath or whatever, Sean Connery like said that he was going to betray McLeod, and that he did want the prize, and there could honestly be only one, but like he had some sort of
He
change
just
of
wanted
faith
McLeod to
or
fight the Kurgan, kill him, and then maybe Sean Connery
get in a
could kill
weakened state. It would have been
McLeod.
interesting for his character.
That
but,
would have been.
yeah.
I could see this being an awesome remake.
Oh man,
could
this
see it
could
being
go
an
well.
awesome remake.
I did actually really. I found
Or a
it,
TV show.
I found it really interesting.
A Netflix
Another
10.
TV
Oh
show.
my
that
god,
was-
I would love it. I would love
miniseries.
it.
Do a quick
Just
mini,
a 10-part
1-season
Highlander
miniseries.
series.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And because then
We're
you
not
could do,
ready for
you
it.
could do a real like
Americans
gathering
aren't ready
where,
for
yeah,
it.
Like
Yeah.
you're just because you kind of like the original show.
How about this for a pitch?
Ooh.
Christopher Lambert's old now. He did win the prize, but
And
the
then it's all
Highlanders
over
are starting
again.
again.
Yes.
New round.
Oh,
There's a
man.
new round of Highlanders out there.
That would be cool. Mm-hmm. So then you could have like all new characters, but then bring Christopher Lambert into the series
Yes.
too.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Netflix, give us
Maybe
a call.
maybe
We'll
the other
take your
guy
money.
from the TV show as well.
There you go.
My God, this is gonna be amazing.
Oh man.
We've wished a lot of things to existence on this podcast.
And sometimes they happen.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times.
That's true.
Honey, I Shrunk the
Rick
Kids
Moranis
4.
is coming
Oh,
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Estevez
yeah,
is
yeah.
coming. There was
Yeah,
another
yeah,
thing
yeah,
that
yeah,
Mighty
yeah,
Ducks
recently,
4?
Yeah,
That's true.
Everything's a 4.
bringing it back. Home Alone's coming back.
That's
Is there
true.
a Highlander 4?
There is a anime movie. I don't know if it's canon or not, but it is very good.
Ooh,
There's
that sounds really good.
Are you wait? What?
It's great.
That
It's
sounds
really
There's a
sweet
Highlander
movie.
anime.
That sounds
Yeah.
exactly the right kind of
It's
format
really
for
cool.
this movie. Yeah, for that.
It's a TV show. What?
No, it was just a movie. It was a one-off movie.
What?
But I remember it being really BA.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. It sounds
Andy?
exactly like I would want to see it.
Andy.
We'll find it.
Okay.
We'll find it and
Okay,
we'll watch
thank you.
it.
Thank
it's
you.
gonna be good.
Every episode, you just get coercing Andy to put movies on the Plex for you.
Oh, we'll find it.
Andy.
Oh man, that does sound like good. Like a good
And then I won't watch it.
I liked the choice. I thought it was interesting narratively where, Ramirez is with the Highlanders girl when the
That's
Kurgan
a
shows
babe
up.
for sure. Come on.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
total
You could tell
babe-a-tube.
like they were like, "Ooh, Madonna's hot. Let's get a Madonna." Oh my God, she was.
Very.
I remember
good.
when I originally watched this movie, I was like,
She has that accent. She's always wearing like those German clothes.
Yeah.
"Yeah."
She's got like a sweater like made of like woven fabrics of like different
I think
blankets
you kept
and
calling them
things.
goat
It was
skin
really
or
cool.
sheepskin,
And then like
You
she
got
is
your
like ride or die
sheepskins
for
on.
McLeod, man. She's like committed.
Yeah,
But I really like the narrative choice of where Ramirez tells the Kurgan that's his wife or woman.
Yeah.
like to kind of protect McLeod. I think it was he doesn't want to. He wants to protect the
Yeah,
fact that
I don't
McLeod
think
exists.
Kurgan knew McLeod was in
Yes,
the area.
exactly. And
right.
I think and so they have the fadeaway where Kurgan's
you think he
like,
said
"Hello,
that
pretty,"
because-
because you're like, oh, she's about to get oops.
Yeah.
And then later,
Do you think if he said that was McLeod's girl, then it would have been even worse for her?
Well, I think I don't know if it would have
Is
been
that
worse for
like
her.
what
but
his expectation
It would have
was?
been worse for McLeod. is what I think the point was.
He's just trying to hide his location. I
yeah,
think.
because McLeod wasn't there, and the Kurgan didn't seem to know that McLeod was there.
Okay,
around.
I guess I didn't. I thought he was looking for McLeod when he showed up.
It seemed like he knew it was Ramirez that was there.
The Kurgan really likes breaking doors down.
Oh my god!
my
It's
God.
like his favorite thing.
Dude.
To like bust a door in.
Oh yeah,
It's
He does it like three times.
It's like the big bad wolf. It's like that, like cartoonish at times.
well, and he looks so
Like especially like later on in the '80s when he busts the metallurgic lady's door down.
Oh yeah, the
My
police
God.
ladies. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Oh, and then her apartment has the most amazing lighting for that scene.
Yeah,
where
it's like,
he busts
turn on
in.
all the red
Yeah,
lights.
she's got like I need all the red and blue lights in my apartment to be on in random rooms as we run down this crazy hallway.
See, and that scene was really goofy too because she walked in and I thought she was confused because there were just red lights all over her apartment.
Yeah,
she looked
looks
like she was
that.
in the wrong
She
apartment.
goes in and she's looking around like, what
Like,
the
what's
hell
all the
is
red
going on in
lights
my
doing?
apartment? And then the Kurgan busts in. She's like, don't care anymore. Just like running through. Oh man.
But jumping back to his, so he's got his lady.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where there's a couple scenes where like they're at the market and Sean Connery is talking with.
He's telling him to break it off.
Yes.
Because it only ends badly.
It'll hurt you, yeah, and hurt her, I guess, because they can't have kids.
Yeah, Sean Connery
They
was
can't have kids,
in love 3 different times in his life.
and he's
Yeah.
been
It's
through
always
this.
worked out bad.
That's where he got his one sword. His father-in-law made it for him.
Right, like
Japanese
He married a
was
princess.
samurai.
Again, so the Egyptian that was from Spain, but also
His
was in
third-
Japan
yep.
and now is here in the Highlands.
His
Man,
third
he gets
wife
around.
was
Yeah.
Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you
Time's
spend,
different,
You
though,
spend
for
that
a
much
Highlander.
time.
That's true. You got that thousands of years. You got to kill
God.
it somehow.
Might as well marry a Japanese princess.
There you go.
Just collect a bunch of trinkets and trophies along the way.
I did like though that like they show that McLeod's woman there like stayed with him. Like she wasn't killed by the
she grew
Kurgan.
old and just died of
and she
old
just
age.
never told him about it. Like they lived
The
their lives,
Kurgan.
and at the end, she's like, I wish I could have, I could have had your children. But I'm glad we had the life we had, and just asked him to do the whole light the candle on my birthday thing. And I was like, that's really cool. I didn't expect to see her again after the Ramirez scene because it's like
Yeah.
implied that the
I like
the
that they
Kurgan
wrapped
assaults her
up
and
that
kills her.
storyline.
Yeah, and I like that. I think it's just uncommon for you to see like a woman that does survive a sexual assault that just goes on living her life and kind of just how she coped with it.
Wow.
It was
Progressive
really
movie.
neat. Yeah, it was actually a really unconventional
Yeah,
narrative.
the Highlander breaks down barriers.
Oh, it's a real
all over the
progressive
place.
movie.
It's also a love story.
It is.
In addition to a high fantasy adventure, there's a lot of romance in the Highlander.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Who wants to live forever?
That's a good question.
A lot of pain in that love in his life.
Right.
It's kind of magic.
Well,
you know?
because he did they reference that twice because of Queen? I know. I was like, come on,
Right? Yeah.
come on. It's a kind of magic. I was like, that's like 2 on the nose.
it's a kind of magic. With his weird accent.
Yeah, so like they have the scene where he's in World War II in France, and
Yes.
he runs into a barn and he finds a little girl.
Rachel.
We need to talk about
We need
Rachel.
to talk about Rachel.
Rachel loves him.
I have questions. Yes. I wrote down, is Rachel coming on to him?
oh no, Rachel.
I was
totally.
unclear.
They probably had like a thing.
I think they did.
They had a thingy flingy.
You raised her, man. That's creepy. What are you, Woody Allen? Get out of here.
It might be just dad stuff, but there's definitely
She
an
was.
infatuation.
She seemed like she was into him.
Well, he didn't
And
want
was
anything
like,
to do with her, but
no.
she
'cause-
loved him.
Well,
Yes,
yeah, 'cause
exactly.
Highlander knows that it won't end well.
Yeah, he was definitely like. She
Love
was
never
like,
ends well with
please.
the Highlander.
Out of everybody, though, I think she knew him more than anyone.
Oh, sure,
She-
absolutely.
She kept his secret. She was protecting him.
Yep.
Like she cared about him quite a bit.
I had
and he cared about her too.
An idea, like she's like kind of the Alfred,
Yeah.
to his Batman, you know. And I thought, like, what if an interesting Batman story if Bruce Wayne and Alfred were a couple?
Yeah.
they were like hot for each other. Like maybe like they like secretly like didn't do it or whatever, but they couldn't. But there was always like this weird sexual tension between Batman and Alfred. I was like, that's an interesting Batman story.
Alfred's just like secretly in love with Bruce.
Yeah.
The whole time.
That's why he's, like, taking care of
I
him
like
the whole
idea.
time.
Yeah, I like the idea.
yeah.
Wait, would it just be Alfred in love with Batman, or would they
could
be
do-
I
kind
think
of
he's like at
involved
his
with each other?
distance. They're probably
Yeah.
like back and forth. They're hot and cold in different times.
So you saying they had sex?
Probably there's gonna be a sex scene in this movie.
Gotta have
You're
it.
making a gay Batman movie?
I'm making a gay Batman.
love
Let's
it.
Do it. Let's do it.
I want
I'm
to see
on
the gay
board.
Batman.
But it's like also like cross generations too. So it's like
Oh, yeah.
you know, age is in there
Yeah.
as well.
Uh-huh.
I'm into it.
You gotta get that Harold
Let's
and
cast
Maude
Michael
vibe.
Caine and
You bring him
Christian
back.
Bale again.
Really?
In this gay Batman film.
You want to see them make out? I don't know.
I want a 3-minute
White.
sex scene between Alfred and Batman.
Wow, that's long. That's long. Most sex scenes are not that long.
They were in a Highlander. They were rolling around for like 5
It
minutes
was
on
a pretty
screen.
long sex scene in Highlander. Yeah.
It was like 45 seconds.
Oh, wow, you were timing it?
I couldn't tell. Like,
Here's the thing. I've watched it before.
I don't know when it's like his butt and like when it's her butt. I couldn't tell like whose
It's
butt.
her butt at first. It's his butt afterward.
I got confused on the butts in Highlander.
There's a lot of butts.
He likes to squeeze butts in this
Yeah.
movie.
I was she does.
I was
I
saying,
couldn't
well,
tell.
they both have nice butts. I don't blame either of them for squeezing some butts. So it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I don't know what the etiquette is for when you shoot a sex scene, but like he definitely like licked her nipple.
Oh, yeah,
and
he
stuff,
was
and I
all
was like,
into
does
that.
that
You
happen
just
in
go-
a sex
you
scene?
just
I guess.
Go for it sometimes.
yeah, he was.
Whoever's permission.
And like his original girl, when they're in there was like the fair or the market square scene, like she walks up to him and he like squeezes her butt like really hard, and you can see his hand like shake a little bit. And I was like, that's aggressive.
Highlander's a butt man.
Oh, he's definitely a butt man. For sure.
He's a butt man. You could tell. You could tell.
Oh, man.
So where are we at next? Ramirez has died.
Yeah,
Yes.
head chopped off, lopped off.
So let's talk about the Kurgan. We
Yeah,
get a little bit of
please.
his
Yeah.
side.
He gets quickened
He
by Ramirez's power.
that's true. And in modern day,
Yeah.
he's like
He's the Terminator.
he is. It feels like the Terminator.
He's the Terminator.
Yeah. I mean, this is like fresh.
I also love that
a year
he
off
is-
of Terminator.
He is exactly the 80s punk dude where he's got the cut up jeans, he's got like the weird chains on himself, he has his neck scarf from Ramirez is like safety pinned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Clancy Brown's original costume idea was just a suit with like a bowler cap. I thought that'd be kind
Wanted
of
to be
scary
a
too.
dapper
Ooh.
Kurgan.
Because like it would like evolve through time.
I kinda like that
It would,
idea.
Like, maybe like gone up into the.
That's kind of like Slenderman esque.
Yeah.
yeah.
Instead of going to the punk scene, he would like just.
I thought
done
the
a high
punk scene
class.
really worked for him because he
Yeah.
looked punk from the beginning with that like crazy like skeleton armor that he had.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like
He's
when,
way into it.
when they like
He's got a theme
come
and
up
he
to him
sticks
on the
to it.
battlefield in that original battle in the Highlands, and he's had his skeleton armor, and everyone's just like, "Holy!" Like the cloud
he
is
looks
like,
so
"Oh
scary.
my god, what have I gotten myself
Yeah.
into?"
He's so scary and
He's insane.
And I like the dynamics between like the front desk guy
Yeah,
and the
dude.
black guy. That's
Get
like,
out of here! You can't don't talk to the guests. That was really good. I did like that.
Kurgan's mean to that guy.
He
Kurgan
is.
is mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's like, don't ever talk to me ever.
Don't ever say anything. Get me.
talk to me. His voice too.
Oh, man.
it's creepy.
Yeah, it's because his throat got cut. There's even a line.
Yeah.
where,
Oh, that makes sense.
Sean Connery was like, "Oh, I fixed your voice."
Yeah,
That makes sense. I never thought about that.
Get that larynx cut.
What'd you think about his like putting the sword together scene?
It was sweet.
That's
It
kind
was
of like a
cool.
Terminator
I don't know if
scene.
that
Yeah.
makes sense from like a sword perspective, but
doing a sweet sword
it
dance
was
in the
very
hotel
cool. And
room.
like he seemed like he was really doing some fun sword play. Like he even did like the thing where he's got his arms and he's just spinning it around in a
Yeah,
circle
yeah,
in
yeah.
his arms. I was like, man, he had some fun. And then Candy shows up, and you're like, oh girl, get out
And
of
they
there.
had that like split diopter shot.
oh yeah,
His half of his face is like covering most of the screen, and she's in the background.
I'm Candy.
But the Kurgan kills Connor McLeod's best friend. He comes in for a visit,
yeah.
for the
Right.
gathering.
So I misremembered that. I thought it was McLeod and them fighting in the alleyway. But
I
it was
wrote
actually,
that. I took a note about that because we thought they
yeah,
fought for
another
the
immortal.
when for the Uzi thing.
But it was
yeah.
the guy that McLeod thought was going to poison him. But they were just friends. It was him and the Kurgan fighting in the alley.
There's also a guy from like
before the Vietnam
vet guy with like
He,
PTSD.
he seems like it.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a survivalist, like waiting for like the moment.
Yeah, trying to save someone.
He's
don't
very much a
know.
survivalist. 'cause
Here
he
it
gets a sword through the gut and lives.
Oh yeah,
No.
Kurgan sword through the
Sword
gut.
through the gut, and he's raised up in the air, just hanging
And he
by the sword.
survives to
Yeah.
give the police a statement.
My
Oh,
God.
yeah. But he pumped the Kurgan full of like 1,000,000 rounds, man. He fired for like a minute.
There's always like a sequence where someone takes the Kurgan down and then they walk over to him and he's either like gone or like he rises up from like
Yeah.
from the ashes in a way to like choke slam them. It's like, just leave him. Just walk away, man.
Just get out of there.
Get out of there. Like, because in that sequence in particular, like, the guy has an Uzi shooting at him, and, like, everybody floods to see what's happening. Even the old couple drive by and park there. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, leave.
They make it a point to show how many people show up to see the Kurgan, like, just doing crazy shit. And, yeah, including the old couple that just drive by and they're like, oh, my God, Harold, stop the car.
Yeah, like, they look like they just got off. They just, like, left a country club, but it's, like, 9 p.m. or 10 p.m.
In, like, the bad part of town.
In the bad part of town. They're,
yeah.
Where are they?
Yep.
What are they doing out?
Oh, my gosh.
It's a pretty sweet explosion, though. A lot of miniatures exploding, and they set up some real explosions, too, in that alley.
Oh, when he gets quickened?
Yeah, it was a place that was going to be destroyed. Like, they were going to, like, do stuff to it anyway. So they're like, go ahead and mess around in that alley. They blew up a lot of stuff.
Dude, the Kurgan is literally the Undertaker at moments. When he quickens, he does the eyeball thing that the Undertaker does. Yeah, you only see the whites of his eyes.
Yeah.
Now I want to see fan art of the Undertaker with the Kurgan sword.
It's got to exist, right?
Oh my god!
Let's get on DeviantArt.
Oh my god!
There's a lot of stuff that like explodes and breaks in this movie. I thought maybe you wouldn't like that.
No, it was cool.
Okay,
it wasn't. It
the
wasn't
cars.
like a
the
nice
car sequence is really cool.
Oh my!
At the very beginning, with all the cars kind of like revving up and like jerking and like their lights are going on and off.
I was trying to think about like all the crew that must have been like hidden behind pillars with switches that they're flipping.
Oh my
for the
god!
scenes and stuff.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
They spent a lot of money on that. You could tell they spent a lot of money on certain sequences.
Yep.
And just wanted to get them right.
So like mentioned in the trivia, even that for that scene specifically, that because they were filming in London. But, like, I guess British parking garages are not nearly as tall as American ones. So they were like, people have to believe this is Madison Square Garden's parking garage. Mm-hmm. So they, like, converted a market into a parking garage. And, like, they spent the money and time to do that just to make it right. And make it feel like it was Madison Square Gardens. And I was like, they really cared. Like, that's a lot of effort and money for like a scene right in the beginning that really isn't that important.
Yeah, and I assume there's like people in every one of those cars, or they're rigged up somehow for the lights to flash and move forward and rev up. And
there's so many of them. Like they're running across those hoods. I'm like, I mean, these weren't like borrowed cars. Like they had these to destroy.
And right back to the alley scene, the Kurgan throws the old man out of the car.
Oh my gosh.
The old lady goes for a fun time ride with him.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, Mom!
She ends up on like the hood of the car.
I know, I was like, just stay in the car, lady. Why did you end up on the hood?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Why didn't she get out when she had a chance?
We're not there yet, but I do want to talk about the Kurgan car scene.
Oh, we have to. We have
the
to.
The Kurgan car scene.
I was
with
losing
the reporter
during that scene.
Oh my god.
What is that scene?
We're almost there.
It's like the Fight Club scene.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get to that scene?
Yes, I want to talk about the fact that I'm jumping way back. When Ramirez is training McLeod, we forgot to mention the fact that there's like the clear shots on the mountaintop where it's obviously not them.
No.
It's someone in a blonde wig. The wig's not the right color. And then Ramirez, the guy is like way too he's like heavier than Sean Connery.
They do get a really good take of the sword flying off the mountain though.
They do, yeah.
Like that was really planned out.
They got a good shot of it like flying in the air. They didn't get quite a good shot of it dropping. The camera couldn't quite follow it.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of moments like that where you could clearly tell it was a stunt double.
Yeah, you're not paying Sean Connery to go up on those mountains.
No, they only had him for a week, so they're like, "Oh, we need the shot." Fuck.
Plus, it looks dangerous.
It looks so dangerous. How did they get there?
Dude, I was thinking about that during the Ramirez-Kurgan fight because they were going up those steps, and I mean, I'm sure part of that was back at ground level, but they make it look like it's the higher part. But like the camera moves from the bottom of that tower to the top initially when they're talking, so like they were up in that part of the set for a period of time, and then there's shots of at least the stunt guys on those steps way up there with like no railings or anything. I'm like, how are they not falling off? Like I'd have been like freaking out trying to shoot the scene like that. Just gonna fall down.
They might have had some safety gear at the bottom or something. Could be,
like that. Yeah. That was a pretty interesting scene. Just
foam or something.
Yeah, from like a safety perspective, I'm like, you got to be careful filming something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a cool matte painting too in that sequence when the Kurgan showed up at McLeod's place. They had like a wide shot of the tower, and like in the background you could tell it was like a painting, but it looked really.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
So we want to talk about the car sequence.
We can talk about the car.
So this is like right after the Kurgan. The Kurgan how does he knows that McLeod is with this girl? And I
Yeah,
forget
so
how.
Do they have a fight and then the helicopter comes?
No, she finally. Well, that was earlier, but like she
No.
finally. Yeah, that's like way early.
Because she gets kidnapped right at the end of the film.
Yeah, but the helicopter piece is like when they first meet.
But that's how
after the parking
Kurgan
garage.
knows that lady even exists.
No,
is what
well,
I'm
he
saying.
sees them in
Oh,
the park.
right. No.
Or in the zoo.
No, Brad's right. They're
Oh,
fighting.
they do see him in the zoo, too.
He sees them in the zoo smooching, and that's when he's like,
Oh, right.
I'm getting the girl.
Well, I don't
Right,
know
because
about
they're
that.
walking under that like underpass of the bridge, and then the Kurgan pops out. They kiss.
Yep.
She leaves,
And that's
then
when
the
you're
Kurgan
like-
walks away, and McLeod looks back.
That's when you're like,
"Where-"
oh, she's in trouble. Because I think, but after the pipe
Yeah.
scene, I don't think the Kurgan was like, it's just the woman he was talking to or whatever. I don't think he put it together. And then the zoo, when he sees him finally smooching up on it, and you're like, McLeod, you went through this before, man.
Right, because the pipe scene is just early on in the movie. They have a moment where the Kurgan sees McLeod, they fight each other, and then the police show up in a helicopter, and they're like, "Hey, everybody, stop!
And then they start running. They're like, "Hey, come back here!" Oh,
hey, you're not listening to us."
Actually, I didn't think about
That's
this.
one of
That was like the
funniest-
least effective way to be a police officer.
Yeah.
You can't.
Oh my gosh.
You can't do anything if you're up in the sky.
oh, hey, don't run! Oh,
Hey, get back here, guys!
dang
Come back into the helicopter.
Joe, they ran away
It's like a
again.
policeman on a horse chasing a car.
Right,
What are you
exactly.
doing?
Hey, it works in John
Exactly.
Wick.
Back here.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So, so the bridge scene happens, and then later on, the Kurgan just shows up at her apartment, and she's trying to get into her apartment, and he's like, he
just
I
like-
forget what he says exactly.
Yeah, like he mentions, just like he just says like, "Hey there, cutie pie" or something from the top.
Right,
And she's
and
just
she, like,
"Oh
screams.
boy," and he's like, she's trying to get in to lock the door, and Kurgan's like, "I specialize indoors. Don't
Oh
worry."
my god, that was
it's
just
not
like
gonna matter."
that was just it was like plywood too.
Yeah,
was
he
just
like busts
one-
that centerpiece out,
Yeah.
or whatever, and just comes right in.
So cheap.
It was really funny. Oh man!
So
and then
so he kidnaps her and basically puts her in this car, and they have this joyride.
It's too long.
it is so long.
This scene is too long.
It's so long that she falls asleep halfway through.
Right, right. It is very very long.
It's just the Kurgan being insane. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, we established that he's crazy. I don't know why we needed this, but okay.
Yeah, they keep cutting like in and out of the car. The Kurgan's got his hands off the wheel. He's going down the wrong side of traffic.
Clancy Brown was having the
just keeps
time of his
happening.
life.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's a metal song playing in the background.
Right, right. He pops in a cassette.
he's playing chicken with semi trucks.
It's just too
He's
long.
driving on the pedestrian walkway on that bridge and hitting, like, sparking off the sides.
It's like, I guess we shot it. We'll use every bit of footage we shot.
There's some amazing shots of him running over pedestrians.
Yes, I was about to say
pass
that.
in the blink of an eye. You're
Yep.
like, oh my god.
It's just like a person in like a black like background,
Yep,
and then
just
like
jumping.
it's like some weird like goofy effects that make it
Yes.
look like a crash.
It's so
but
weird.
It's cartoonish.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That scene is like 5 minutes.
it's
of
too.
what
I was
the
like
hell.
bored
Yeah.
with the car chase scene.
I did feel like it was kind of long.
It was too long. I liked
through
the
this
beginning,
thing.
and then it quickly went into let's wrap this up because I don't know what the hell.
There was a lot of crashes too.
Yes.
And then there's like one really weird shot of Clancy Brown just going like making like a goofy like spinning his like fingers around. It looked like a half-hearted. It didn't feel like he was really acting.
I did like some of those crashes because there's some where like he like blasted an intersection and then like well after he went through it, two cars just head on collide behind him, and I was like, they were gonna do that regardless. That was not his fault.
Yeah,
Drivers were just
They
apparently
just wanted
ready
to
to smash.
crash quite a few cars.
Yeah, they did. That whole scene is bonkers.
But anyway, he kidnaps her.
Yes.
And I don't think McLeod really knows that she's kidnapped yet.
He leaves McLeod a message on his answering machine, I feel like. Or on the tape recorder, maybe?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, well, he investigates, and she had a tape recorder running the whole time, so he figures out.
Oh,
where they're
yeah. Okay, you're right.
Oh, okay.
going. Before
Wait,
we
how
get,
does she? This is like a room situation.
well, she always has a tape.
How long
recorder
is this
going.
tape going?
I think she might have hits it right when the curtain comes in. Maybe she like knew. I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Right before we get to the ending, the church scene.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
a big
right.
scene.
What happened to Kurgan's hair?
He
all gone.
he
In the
chopped
sky.
it.
What's going on?
He wanted to make himself look even
Because the police
more
had that
creepy.
sketch of him, and he's just
Oh
like,
right,
gotta have to cut my hair.
He did say that when he sat down. He was like, "Had to change my look. What do you think of my haircut?"
Yeah.
Because the police had the sketch of him
From the dude who got stabbed.
I thought maybe like
from the Vietnam vet guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
that's why
like
he
they
changed.
lost a wig in production, or like they had
tried
to
to
like
explain
cover
it.
it somehow.
Yeah, I don't
or he
know.
had like I know he said
I
he
don't
had,
know because he definitely had a bald cap
I
on.
think
You
they
could
just
tell
want him to look
did.
weirder. Yeah, they were just like, we have to make him look the
because
craziest.
he still had a couple strands of long hair that
Yes, he
weren't
did.
chopped off.
They just wanted to make it look insane.
Yeah,
Yep.
He
I
just
think
looked
that's it.
crazy,
Just be that
Botchy
much
hair,
nuts.
and,
but he still had the same outfit.
right.
So like
Same
that
sword,
didn't change
same everything.
I
Yeah.
did want to talk
You
about the
know.
rule
All
here.
you have to do is look for a guy with a cut throat with safety pins
It would have
through
been
it.
fun if he had like
true.
a scarf on and like a different outfit.
Yeah, he's like a beret.
Then he shows up in the suit with the bowler hat.
yeah.
Ooh, that's a good moment to pull that
Yeah.
suit out.
But yeah, I do want to talk about this rule because Ramirez tells him the rules of the immortals.
Yes.
And like he's like, no mortal will fight on
holy ground.
ground. It's tradition. And
It's
I was just
tradition.
Like, so it's not like a straight up they cannot do it. It's just they've all agreed not
Yeah.
to. What if you're a McLeod and you didn't have Ramirez to teach you the rules and you just kill someone in a church and they're
Right.
like, that's against the rules, and you're like, I didn't know. No one explained to me. I didn't get the
I know, like
the
there's
instruction
no real
manual
code or anything. Like McLeod doesn't even know he's immortal until he dies that
Exactly.
one
Probably
time.
have a newsletter or something they could send out.
And
he
an
didn't get his
email
little. He
system.
didn't get his little Hogwarts letter in the
This
mail.
movie's before
and-
email, Brad.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like that was weird. And then I was also like, and the Kurgan's gonna abide by that? I mean, he's the Kurgan. Why is he gonna follow the rules?
I guess maybe he's religious. I guess
We need a scene to happen
He
where
is.
they're not fighting
that's
each
true.
other.
He is obsessed with winning the competition, so I guess he would be like, yeah, the rules are the rules.
And he comes
I
from a
need to
time.
win.
I mean, we have no
But-
idea how old he is, but
That's true.
like religion's been around for a long time too.
Yeah.
So he might just be he believes in it too because
Yeah.
actually he's the one that's saying it. McLeod wants to fight him in that church, and the Kurgan goes, "We're in holy ground. You can't do
Yeah,
this.
it's like, we don't do that. That's
we don't
not
do
how
it."
immortals
So
are.
he believes too.
Oh yeah, he's serious about the rules.
He's a stickler for those rules.
yeah, you wouldn't expect it.
Even though he doesn't seem religious.
No, I mean,
Because I do remember reading in the trivia those nuns that were in the shot, they were real nuns. And he did that to her, and they did that like in the real
walked away?
shot.
That's so
yeah.
good. Oh,
like
man.
he was like, "Hi ladies." Blah, 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 blah.
He's a real piece of work. That
He
Kurgan.
is.
he was having so
He's
much
a real
fun.
piece of work.
Oh boy.
The end fight
He's
scene.
too hot to trot.
You there? We at the end fight
Yeah.
scene?
Oh yeah, with the cool
On the-
sign. This was some good.
I couldn't remember how they went from like on the rooftop to in
They
the
fall
building.
through the floor.
We had
They
talked
did.
about like we had been trying to like someone had remembered like a catwalk or a bridge or something
Yeah.
off a building, and we thought it might be the church even, but no, they like he has the Kurgan has
The
a
bridge
place.
I was thinking of when he met the guy on the bridge.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking
But yeah,
of.
so Kurgan has like his own giant loft warehouse that he hangs out in, I guess.
I guess because he's like tied this lady up to the billboard like
Yeah,
King
to the
Kong
giant
type
sign on top.
situation.
That was pretty good. That whole set was pretty impressive. This is another one where I was thinking about like the safety when they were shooting some of this stuff because they're like climbing up those tall ladders and swinging through scaffolding, and there's shots where it's like really the actors doing this. It's not
Yeah.
just stunt people.
And in that shot too, like she screams. He sees that she's up on this billboard, and so he walks up there. During this entire time, she didn't feel like a need to say, "Hey, the Kurgan's up here."
No warning, yeah.
Hey, just by the way.
He's hiding behind the sign.
Look out for him, he's right there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you know.
So he shows up to like untie her, and the Kurgan pops out, and now they're like fighting on this scaffolding.
Yeah.
You know what's sweet and I want to see more of? Sparks flying off of swords.
Yes, this was so good.
This was the moment.
They had wires going up the actors' sleeves into the sword, and there was like a car battery that would get like shot.
Holy shit.
Yes.
And there'd be like sparks that would fly off the sword
That
while
sounds
they were fighting.
dangerous.
Yeah, it's only in the scenes too when they're not trying to like they're not doing
electrocute
choreography,
yourself.
they're just doing like swords together, and then there's the other scenes where they're bumping stuff that you can see it happen.
Yeah.
So they definitely were like, don't touch anyone with the actual sword. But
Oh
yeah,
my
that looks really
God.
good.
I wouldn't want no.
Those swords are exploding.
Oh my
Sparks.
gosh, they're going crazy.
Hey, by the way, just don't touch him. No. No, I'm not going to shoot
It
the
seems
seat.
safe.
yeah, I mean, it's a car battery. It's not going to kill you that quickly.
It'll only make you stronger.
But yeah, man, like, and again, this whole set was
They destroy that set.
they do it, and there's some really good mixing of the set plus miniatures blowing up of the set, and it looks
Yeah.
really good. Mm-hmm. like I was constantly trying to like pick out which was which, and I was like, I give up. It looks good enough. It's all the same. Like
They don't do like a ton of crazy cuts to hide anything in the Highlander.
no.
Long takes of fighting
Yep.
and stuff exploding.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really know, like, I don't remember how this happened, but they find themselves, like, back on the rooftop, like, not on the scaffolding, the billboard anymore. And Clancy Brown's, like, slashing all of the
He's like,
the billboard
he's
to,
running
to
through
make it fall over.
and just cutting all the supports with his sword. He's just like windmilling through those things. And McLeod's like, oh God, get him before he gets to like the last one.
Yeah, he was getting to the last one, and McLeod, like, intervened. And
So the structural
it
integrity
still
of that sign
ended
was
up
compromised.
still ended up going down, and
Yep.
the lady's hanging on it, and now she's like not tied. Her hands aren't tied any
I
longer.
don't know
I guess
how that worked, but yeah,
she's like hanging from it, like about to fall from this roof.
Yep.
But she managed to pull herself back up,
Yeah.
and she doesn't like just leave.
No,
She's just like crawling on the roof.
Yeah.
She's got to help Connor.
She's worried about him. She kind of likes the guy. He's rich and he lives forever. Like she's like, all right.
She gets to hit the Kurgan with a pipe.
That's true.
Save the day kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. They did have the bit where they hit the water tank, and so they're like in all this water with
you're
the
right.
electricity
That's
going
what
through.
it was.
And then they crashed their roof, and there's no more water.
I know.
I'm like,
There's
where'd
water all over the
where'd it
floor.
go?
It's all wet in the room.
There's like 3 feet of water on that roof.
that sweet blue room with all the glass.
That was a really cool
And they
space to have
do
that
all
fight.
those sweet like gliding shots around the floor while
Oh,
they're fighting
it
in
looks
long
so
takes.
looks
good.
really good.
Yeah.
It looks so
Yeah.
good.
Looks badass.
Yep.
So they fell a long way,
Yep.
and I was like, they didn't break anything. They didn't break their
Immortals.
legs.
Yeah.
You can't break stuff.
Well, I mean, they bleed and
they
it
can
seems
bleed
like
and they can
just-
get hurt and
like
stuff.
it took McLeod like a day to recover from getting stabbed by the Kurgan the first time.
They're at the height of their power, though.
Well,
There's
that's true.
There's
There's
only
only
two
the two.
left. Come on.
Yeah.
No, and it was a little confusing, but maybe they kind of explained this. Like the girl just like appeared on the same level as them, but
I think she went
she just found the
downstairs.
stairs. Yeah, and
it looked like she might have been going down the stairs, but I couldn't really tell if she was.
yeah,
or
it's
not.
like she kind of disappears, so you're not sure where she went, and then
She disappeared and
shows
then
up
just appeared.
to save him, and he's just like, "Hey, I thought when were you going to show up? Take forever."
Yeah, yeah, and then they have that fight, and McLeod is just
He's finally in the zone.
he's in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
He's just like channeling his Ramirez,
Those sweet white sneakers on.
getting it in. Oh yeah,
Those blue jeans.
Yeah.
Just rocking it.
He had a weird haircut the entire movie.
and he like Zorro's the Kurgan a couple of times.
He
Where
did.
He's
He
like,
slashed him in the
Yeah.
in the stomach, and looked like some of his like intestines started to come out or something.
something was
Yeah.
going. Yeah, he was
and they
cutting him
slashed
up.
him in the chest, and
And then he finally almost cuts his head off. He kind of Ramirez's it again, where he doesn't completely cut the
Yeah,
Kurgan's
but
head
then-
off, but
but
it's
then it
enough
does
this
fall
time.
off.
It's enough.
yeah,
versus,
he
Ramirez.
sliced his
And
neck.
I think that was
enough.
kind of the choice. It was supposed to mirror what Ramirez had done, just finish the job, sort of.
So they
almost.
ran out of money for an effect they wanted to do.
Oh boy.
Where a demon popped out of the Kurgan's head,
Huh.
and then he had to fight the demon.
Oh my god, that would have been
What?
insane.
Yes.
That's too much. Why? That's not the
That
deal.
wouldn't have made sense.
You just had to be the last immortal. You didn't have to fight no demons.
I know. It would have been like a final boss stage.
But
though,
that's
you
still
know?
they still made that kind of happen because after he
Light-
killed
light
him,
turned
there was
red
like
in a weird
there was
way.
like 1930s like Popeye cartoon
Yeah.
demons.
That was okay. This was like the one scene in the movie that I liked the most. It
was
the
I'm telling
crazy
you, it was
cartoon
incredible.
demon.
It was awesome.
Sometimes I just watch this scene.
Insane! It's so cool.
Yeah, the final quickening.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, and then they had the lightning lifting him up, but it was
They had
clearly
that very
over
interesting
cables.
shot where they like quick like pan into his face or quick like zoom into his face, and
There can be only one.
and he was his like head tilted up, and he was like, there can be only one, and then all of the windows behind him just
Yes.
explode at the same
It's so
time.
sweet.
It's so good.
It's like the most
Yeah.
intense moment.
I think there's a goofy part where he is floating and he's like spinning around in the
Yep.
background of a scene. And I was like, it's a little too goofy, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was the final quickening. And he was like having like ad lib lines to explain like what the was happening. He was
Yeah.
like, I can hear everybody. I have all the power
The
of
movie ends with
everything.
voiceover.
Oh
It's
boy.
like-
It
It's
ends
like
with voiceover,
no one understood what was happening.
and them sitting in like a field in Scotland, I guess, just like
Yeah.
looking at the landscape. Like, isn't it nice? that
And he's got like
we can
long
now have
hair and he's
kids?
like Jesus clothes on.
yeah, he's at peace.
Yeah.
He gets to have babies now.
Yeah, yeah.
And he
he's
talk-
he's like he's expressing like all of the missing what's the word? The
Exposition?
Yeah. He's giving all the exposition at the very end because none of that was explained up front.
Yeah, and it is kind of goofy because he talks about like now I've achieved the thing, like I know what everyone's thinking all the time, and he's like, but you never say what you're gonna do with
He says
that.
he helps political leaders, and
I know. I thought it was kind of
Yes,
goofy.
I'm
I was like, who's gonna
probably
believe
helps people
you?
find their keys and they lose
There you
them
go,
and
yeah.
stuff, and you know.
Your keys are in the couch. Ha 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 ha.
Oh man. Oh, it was kind of a weird ending.
It's the prize.
Yeah, he got the ultimate prize.
It was clearly just
the ultimate
waiting
prize
for that
was
leading into the Netflix
I think for him, the
miniseries.
ultimate prize is like the ability to
Having the
eventually die.
Yes. Well, yeah, absolutely.
To not be here any longer.
He was real excited
But
about being
almost, I
mortal.
think they also implied that he'll be reborn. So, like, when he dies, he'll just come right back as something else.
Yeah, reincarnation just happens again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I guess, like, maybe immortals can come back? Or
I think there's going to be another, like,
new
gathering
immortals?
in a few thousand years.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It just repeats
I think
the
you could
cycle.
run the
Netflix.
prize multiple times.
Netflix, get it
Yes.
together. People would see this.
Yep.
Get those Game of Thrones people in there. They'll
Nancy Brown's
they'll,
still
they'll-
going.
They'll F it up in the 9th season.
Yeah, there you go. But you'll get eight seasons.
But
out
like
of
the
that.
first 7 are gonna
Make
be
some
like
money.
"Whoo!"
There you go. There you go.
Any last thoughts on the Highlander?
Oh, I loved it. I like
What's your favorite movie?
It is.
Even like the things that were like goofy and like
Him fighting the Nazi? That was
mistakes
fun.
and yes. And just like all the weird editing and stuff and like the bad shots and like some of the bad acting.
lot of
all of it together, I
camera
just
choices.
love it.
Yeah. This really is one of those.
I think it's even better that it's like
It's also
not
like modern
perfect.
fantasy adventure,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Which we don't see a lot of.
It's true.
And it's a good story too.
relatable.
I think it's a good
immortality
premise. Yeah,
and-
it's
yeah.
a cool premise. Like I said, I mean, I absolutely think it could work again if you did bring it around.
Original
again.
story is written by a college student
Vampires
who
with
went to
swords. Sounds
went
like
to
a good
a
idea.
museum.
Yep.
Yeah, vampires with swords. Yeah.
Great.
Oh man.
So, thanks for watching this one, guys.